button. Hit the button.
I kind of felt like you did run up to your
It's
mic.
too late.
Like
It's too late,
little
D-Bash.
flip-flops.
It's too late. Hey, chat. By the way, chat, we're not late because of anything other than Fonz's internet or power situation kind of was acting a little weird. So he'll be in here, but it might be I don't know, 5, 10, 20 minutes. I have no idea. So hopefully Fonz gets in here as soon as possible. We love having him on the show.
No, it wasn't my fault.
No, it was not. It was not your fault. And I've taken some extra precautions this week after finding out that it's not necessarily on my end, you know, the show issues that have happened. I think it's definitely something else. So if anything happens this week, which it could, I hope not. I feel like it won't, but I feel like I could be wrong. I really don't know. But if it does happen, then next week I'm just gonna go all out. You know, it's just DEFCON. What's the best one? DEFCON 1.
Broken Arrow, bro.
Broken Arrow. That one. Yeah, we're gonna go all out, and I'm just gonna say fuck it and rip everything out of the wall, and it won't be an issue much longer. But again, thank you for joining us, guys. RDX Podcast, Real Deal Xbox Podcast, every Tuesday at 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Central, right here. And, of course, we got a phenomenal panel. We got some really, really great topics. We got Hargeet in here, of course, because I don't know when Fonz will be back. But it's always good to have Hargeet on the show, brother. Another week, another RDX. How you been?
I've been pretty good. I've been finishing up Origami 2 before it leaves. But other than that, yeah, a little bit busy with my nephew and work, but playing Origami.
Very good. Hey, we've also got... Oh, Fonz is here. We've also got D-Bash, brother. How you been?
I'm good, man. Summer's finally over, so it's time to go back to work full time. Back to gaming, and yeah, back to the kids in school and all that stuff. So bittersweet that summer's over, but at least I got today's show, so that'll bring my spirits up. So let's go.
That's a fact. Also, just a quick shout out to Gaz and many others in the chat. Mega Bad Heat is Pain. We've also got Beta Cycle. Shout out to you, buddy. And so many others in the chat. Shout out to Astray Gaming and, of course, Boba Fett. I know they'll be around. But we've also got Fonzarelli, brother. Welcome back to the show.
I'm here. Fuck yeah. Anyways, yeah, my power went out as soon as I got into the Discord. I was sitting there singing to Zocker because, it's the right thing to do. It's his first day back. So anyways, but he wasn't even there. And then all of a sudden the power just cut. And I said, I guess it didn't like my singing. So anyway, I'm here. We're going to have fun.
We certainly are. We also got Zouker87. How you been, brother?
Good, man. I'm glad to be back. Went 12 rounds with COVID. It beat the shit out of me, but I'm here. Fuck that thing.
You kicked
so
COVID
I'm feeling
in the
better.
ass.
I totally did. I feel good now. I feel okay. So I'm glad to be back. Honestly, I missed doing the podcast. I was basically laying down in my deathbed like a fucking loser, and now I'm here. So I'm happy. And I've been playing a shit ton of games in that bed, so it was great. Honestly, dude, like a week and a half of just straight gaming. I think I beat like 2 or 3 games just sitting there.
Well,
doing my thing.
I'm glad you limited it to that. And we've also got XCloud Toon Dog, brother. How you been?
Pretty good. Doing the same old. Happy to have the whole full crew here of panel and hard game as well. Should have a good show. We got a lot of good topics and a lot of talking to do. A lot of catching up.
Yeah, chat. By the way, not sure if you're keeping track here, but it's been 5 minutes and not one issue.
Hey.
And
don't jinx it, bro.
Hey,
remember what happened last time?
Again, if there are next week, it's fuck it. I'm just gonna go all out, and we definitely won't have any issues. But I'm feeling good. I'm feeling good so far, even though I feel like I'm a little off from looking at this fucking little square at the bottom right of OBS constantly. Let me give a few shout outs. Yeah. I gotta give a few shout outs to the patron tier, the sponsors of podcasts. One of them, which Hargeet, Boba Fett Gaming. We've also got Reluctant Dodo, Nerdy Meathead, Dub Mobile, Ricky Ruby. Fuck, I'm tripping up all over the place today. Ruben Almighty, Dave Incubus, Ricky Fallon, Potlines, Not Silik, Bad Boy Live, Achievement, Nanopolymath, Zorodin, Costanza, KY Bob, Goose 8402, Strike, Khalifa, Assassin Lupa, Born Object, Gab Quisteo, John Blue, Vec Boss, Real Deal Neil, Suicide Kings, Tasteless Genie, Michael Bowen, Guillermo Gafio, All Might, Dark CML, Alfonso Hogan. You guys are amazing. If you want to sponsor the show, join the patron tier. All that stuff's linked down below. We can start it off with Mr. Matt Booty. He's been talking a lot about first party lately. I don't know if you guys have heard, but he said some things.
He's been doing something. He's been doing things. Wow.
He actually came out of his bunker and he did confirm that if, well, among many things, he says that if there's one game that he wishes that he could show, one game that he's like, I want to show this, but I know I can't, it's Fable, because the game is doing a lot of really, really cool stuff. Not only that, but he's had a recent meeting with Turn 10. He's gone into all kinds of stuff. We can start with Fable, Fonzo, really. I mean, if he's saying that he's seeing all this cool stuff in Fable, and that his job is to normally say, hey, we can't show stuff, but he kind of wants to not do that this time. What does that tell you about Playground Games and what they're doing with that RPG?
I think we're going to be kicking a lot of chickens and farting a lot in the game. I'm pretty sure, because that's what Fable was about, wasn't it? I'm hoping Fable is much more than that, honestly. Look, I don't know. I'm not the biggest Fable fan, but I am. My eyes are open, and my mind is open to a new Fable, a revamped Fable. Hopefully this looks incredible. Hopefully it's a great game. I'm glad that he's stoked about it, but I mean, he's an executive. He's going to say things like that. Oh, I can't wait to show you guys this or that. And it's like, then it comes out and it's State of Decay 2, I don't know. I just want to, I just want to see.
Fonz!
You were going somewhere nice with that, but then you turned into a fuckface.
No. Executives are going to say what they're going to say, man, to try to push their systems all the time, and get hype surrounding their consoles or their platforms. So I'm just looking at this situation like, okay, we'll see. I'm looking forward to seeing more on Fable for sure, than just the fairy flying across that river or whatever.
There was a frog too. I mean,
yeah, there was a frog that ate the
Well,
fairy.
hold on. Let's
But
be
I want
real
to see
here.
more. I want to see more. But let's talk to a real Fable fan, Zocker87.
So, I enjoy Fable. It's not the biggest RPG. That's not my most favorite RPG, but I got to give credit to Matt Booty, because he was actually saying some shit that I didn't even think he was going to say. Like, he was like, I know what some people are thinking. Why would you give Fable to the racing team? Like, he was like very brutally honest, and he was like, I just didn't understand. Like, a lot of people were asking those questions.
Why do
Are they
keep
the right
Halo
team?
With 343?
And that's just a shit show in itself. But when we think about Playground Games, let's be real. Playground Games is probably, next to the Coalition, the best studio at Xbox, right? Like, from the Xbox Game Studios. They brought out highly rated games. Other DLCs are awesome. They push the tech. Everything is insane. Halo, like, Forza Horizon 5, like, the whole, like, going from the Mexico landscape and then going straight into gameplay, fucking blew people's minds. Like, so I understand, like, people are excited for this. The one thing I do like is that Playground Games is telling him to fuck off. Because he's like, every time I'm there, he's like, I'm like, wow, we should really show this. And they're like, no, bro, it ain't ready. Like, no, it ain't ready. No, it ain't ready. And that, to me, needs to happen way more often. And I think a studio that earned the respect to do that, like Playground Games, is few and far between at Xbox, sadly.
Well,
and
he said they've proven themselves, right? He said that
exactly.
By the way, you are clipping a little bit. I don't check what that thing.
Because I'm excited.
That thing that happened last time. You said it, Windows adjusted something automatically. But yeah, he said that they basically proved themselves. They understand that people are a little skeptical, but they've proven themselves. And no telling how they did that. Was that some boys, joined the 7 type shit, or what? I have no idea. How do you think they've proven themselves, Tim Dog?
Well, you look at all their previous games, even though they're car games, 92 Metacritic, 90, and then their first installment was 85. I mean, they've been basically a savior for Xbox. They were the only good studio they really had, and they weren't even owned. They were recently picked up in 2018, so I think it's a good thing that he talked about it. I think that they haven't talked much, and it adds a little bit of hype to it. Like Fonz says, it's their job to hype it, but I honestly think that they do very little of that. I think that they should do a little bit more. I've heard through the grapevines that this is the game that's going to really wow people, and you look at the pedigree, you look at what they said they wanted to be the best developer in the world. They have high aspirations, and all they've had is success. So to bet against them, I wouldn't bet against them. Put it
Damn,
that
you're
way.
right, bro. All they have is success, man. You're right.
But I do think it's going to take time. I think people who think this is going to come in this year, or not this year, next year, it probably is going to be on the later half of their announcements, just because they are so they're so critical of themselves and they want a perfect game, which you can never really do. But like I said, I've heard very good things from way back when. That's probably Xbox's one of Xbox's in 2018. If you compare all their acquisitions, by far their best. It's just a matter of time, and them delivering the game. But it's gonna take time, so you have to all keep that. It's probably gonna be awesome, but it's gonna take time.
Yeah.
It might be a 2024, 25 game.
Yeah.
I
As
mean,
crazy
of course,
as that
because
is.
they built the studio like in 2017, late like December
Yeah.
2017. They were putting pictures of like the building they were moving into, and then they got bought in 2018, and then it was like boom, 200 job applications out there, like
Okay.
200 positions within the studio. And can I just say that they started building this, by the way, second AAA studio at Playground Games, the same exact time the Initiative was building theirs. And what happened? Playground Games has had nothing but like just quiet. There's nothing like they're like it's like an offensive lineman in football. You don't want to hear their fucking name. Like and that's what's happening right now.
And you know
They're
what's good about that?
That's a good
Zucker?
thing.
You don't hear any turmoil going on either.
Nope.
In this studio, which is
No.
freaking nice.
No,
right?
we got to give
So-
Gaz a shout out because he created a little bit of turmoil with that
Oh,
whole
yes, he
scoping
did.
thing. Hey, big shout out to Gaz. He's a member for 32 months, and he says he's naked for you, Tim Dog.
Oh shit.
Big shout out to everybody watching live, guys. By the way, we expected things to be, at least kind of somewhat stable. So far, so good.
Oh,
Some
wait a minute.
peop-
Wait a minute. We have a
Huh?
stable show. We've got to hear this. Hold on.
This is about
Oh, my
delivering
God.
great exclusive games for you that ship on platforms where Game Pass exists.
That's not actually true, though, and that's part of the problem with Xbox's marketing and messaging.
part of the problem.
Some games are only on Game Pass for some platforms, and others are just great to have everywhere. But Phil did talk more about that. We'll talk about that towards the end of the show. We've got so much to cover, guys. I want to say thanks for everyone that's watching. Thanks for your patience over the last couple of weeks. We know some of you are probably check it out later because you expect problems tonight. If you're here, I just want to say thanks. Share it out. Hit the like button. Tell everybody we're live. We do appreciate it. We got some really good topics and a great panel. And big shout out to everyone checking us out. We've also got some more information on a lot of these different first-party games. Matt Booty, not only did he bring up Fable and said they're working on so much cool stuff, he really wants to show off what they're doing, but he said that he had a meeting with Turn 10 for the latest update on that project, and he said that, Forza Motorsport will redefine. It's going to be a new bar for what simulation racing games can actually be. We've seen that game in action. It looks beautiful. Awesome. Undead Labs are also confirmed to be working with the Coalition on Unreal Engine 5, which is really, really cool. I'll get D-Batch's thoughts on that especially. And then we've also got some information on both InXile and Double Fine. Hargy, he basically said they recently met with Double Fine to check out some new projects that they're working on, early access stuff. Do you expect this to be kind of like Psychonauts? Or do you think they're going to have a clean break, stuff like that? They've already confirmed they're not working on Banjo, as some fake leaks have suggest. What do you think they're doing over there?
I mean, they're generally great at making unique new things, right? So I would expect it to be something totally different. And they usually have a lot of ideas and they coalesce and put together something cool. So I wouldn't expect it to be anything like Psychonauts. And definitely not one of the existing IPs. They usually like to make something cool and new. So we'll see what comes up, but it'll be something weird, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Double Fine is great, man. I love Psychonauts.
Yeah. I kind of wrote Psychonauts 2 off a little bit, just because I don't really remember the first one that much. And then I started getting the second one, and I kind of put it aside for something else. I came back to it and was actually legitimately surprised at how good the game was. D-Batch, speaking of good, Unreal Engine 5, it's right there, if not the best right now for engines that are demonstrating the future of technology and gaming. Undead Labs, working on State of Decay 3. They're also working with Coalition on Unreal Engine 5. They're sharing the engine. They're kind of sharing some tips and stuff like that. What are your thoughts on what Booty said there?
I'm actually really excited by that. State of Decay is a good game, but we all know kind of graphically it's kind of mid at times. Sometimes it can look really good and sometimes it can look mid, more with like the animations and certain stuff like that.
Yeah.
Not saying anything with the gameplay, just from a standpoint of looking good, right? So this is my thoughts on Unreal Engine 5. I really think it's going to take over gaming. I think once all of these Unreal Engine 5 games come out, I think everyone's just going to be making their games on Unreal Engine 5. I think, of course, we're going to get some other games on different engines, but it's going to be the lead engine for most games. And I'm excited that State of Decay is going to be using it. I'm excited that they're sharing technologies and sharing ideas together. And I think the end result is just going to be great. Like, honestly, right now is a great time for Xbox. Like earlier, you guys were talking about Playground Games. I really think that Playground Games and Turn 10, I really think that they are the top developers right now for Xbox. And then I would have to say the Coalition after that. So the fact that the Coalition is using Unreal Engine 5, and let's not forget that Unreal Engine, the previous iteration of it, was really brought into the mainstream from Xbox. So these guys actually know what they're doing with the previous engine, and I'm confident they're going to know what they're doing with this new iteration of it.
You just gave Xbox credit for Unreal Engine 5 being brought in, Unreal Engine being brought in the mainstream, D-Batch? Blasphemy.
Well, what are you talking about? Gears.
Yeah, it was a showpiece for Unreal 2, wasn't it? Or Unreal 3?
And I have a feeling, not a feeling, I know that Unreal Engine 5 is going to be a selling point for Xbox Series X developers and games going forward. I just can't wait for these to come out from like big studios. Like I said previously, we see like nobody's really, no offense to them, but like, not big time developers making fantastic stuff with Unreal Engine 5, much less these big studios. So I think it's good for State of Decay. I think that's the only thing that hurts that game is the graphics. If it were to have quote unquote Sony exclusive graphics, people wouldn't stop talking about that game because the gameplay is pretty good. So I think the deficit is the graphics, and I think Unreal Engine 5 is going to alleviate that. So I'm excited.
Bro, it still blows my mind because there are people that doubt what that engine can do. And I tell them, hey, go type in Matrix or Matrix shit on the store and then download that. And that proves to you at this point, even though we know the consoles, software comes forward over the generation, that stuff is actually possible with full GI ray tracing, all that, even on Series S. It's possible. If not for that demo, people probably wouldn't believe it's possible at this point. I'm super impressed by what they're able to do and by sharing technology, or rather knowledge more so, Matt Booty's talking about, with the Coalition, the guys that are basically leading the charge with Unreal Engine 5. We've seen it. This is a good thing because they needed somebody over there in the technical side that can really help them with the animations, which, by the way, they're also building a studio that works on animations, stuff like that. They needed somebody over there that can really rein that game in and bring it up to par with maybe some other titles. Maybe they want to elevate that stuff, Zalker.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's more than just the animation. It's more than just like the working together. They didn't have manpower, man. Like, what? Undead Labs had like 50 or 60 people that made that game. Like, that's what they had. Like, I'm looking it up right now. They had 50 or 60 people on their studio making State of Decay 2 before they were bought by Xbox. So they made that big game, which, sold extremely well, I might add, and has a lot of people playing it and a lot of content updates, cough Halo, that, they have all this stuff on there. And you got to give credit where credit's due. Am I the biggest fan of State of Decay 2? No, I'm not. But I enjoyed playing it with Dealer. We played it for like 5 hours straight one night. And I had a good time. And then my guy died. But it's okay.
Permadeath.
Yeah, remember permadeath? And then he came back as a zombie and started attacking. I was like, no!
I had to fucking elbow drop this zombie fucking ahead. Get him off me.
You killed him. But that whole studio over the last 4 years has been, 1, hiring people, 2, basically making new studios to help with animation, and 3, getting massive funding from Xbox. So all these things are going to correlate into this new game. And I just want to see what they can do. Because there's a difference between going 50 to 60 people to, 100 to 120 making a so-called AAA game. And I think what they're going to be doing, working with the Coalition, I think it needs to be done. Because that is true. Sharing technology, sharing knowledge is what Sony does within their first party. That is one of the biggest advantages they do have. And that's what Xbox needs to build. And they've talked about that before. And to be quite honest, Matt Booty even brought it up when he brought up the initiative, when he brought up State of Decay. He brought up all these things saying that games that are made in one roof, like AAA games, don't really happen anymore unless it's very grandfathered in. So you're talking like From Software. Their games are made in-house because they've been working together for 15 years. And so all these studios are going to be working together. And they talk about having partnerships with like the World's Edge and Relic, where they made Age of Empires. He talks about Asobo helping with Flight Simulator. All these studios are going to be working together. And I think Undead Labs needs it the most. I think that them working with Coalition is going to be nothing but great news for them. I just hope they take that knowledge and actually make something that looks insane and steps the bar up of what State of Decay 2 can be.
Yeah, and that's the cool thing about UE5 is a lot of that stuff, you know, it's good. It has the capability to look gorgeous, right? I want them to focus more on maybe making the damn game run and connect and the systems work and no bugs and stuff like that. That would be, you know, Unreal 5 is a platform, though, as, you know, highly scalable, and they can, over the course of that game's lifespan, probably make it substantially better looking than it did start out. And they've even done that with Unreal 4. They brought over some PC settings with State of Decay 2 over the past year or so. They've added more and better graphics there. By the way, Jose Linares, shout out to you, buddy. Many others in the chat, by the way. Shout out to all of you for checking us out. We're good tonight so far. We got to give a shout out to everyone powering the show, making it what it is. Almost 1,000 people already here. We do appreciate you. Hit the like button. Tell a buddy or two we're live. Jose, yes, this is Vermintide 2, and we do that in honor of Darktide, that's not coming out this year. But if you're curious about
of the game that's not coming,
if you're curious about their last game, this is it. And again, the stream's running at 1440p, 60 FPS. You should be able to select that option. I also got to give a big shout out to Risk It.
Buffering, bro. It's buffering. Just kidding.
Don't fucking do that to me, Fonz.
Dude, I literally was like, no.
Dick.
What a fucking piece of
Tim
shit.
said, what a dick. Hey,
I'm sorry, Tim.
Again, though, so far so good.
Good joke.
Shout out to Risk It, Brigaders Blue, Lone Wolf, so many others in the chat. Timmy, Jedi Knight Peter, and we've also got USO, Vinny. Shout out to you, buddy, and many others in the chat. I just want to say hi. Meat Puppet 007 says, does the panel think 2023 will be consistent when it comes to games releases? Or maybe more of the same. RDX is the best.
God,
Soccer.
I hope so.
No
I
way.
wasn't done. Meat Puppet has something to say. He says Zocker's a fraud, and we love turtles.
Zoka is a toddler.
Yeah. So, I mean, again, consistent. 2022 is consistent in not having games. 2023, I think, will be consistent in actually having games. And I think it's a win-win-win-win because all that stuff's on Game Pass for those of you that really care a lot about that. And it's just games and software that we've been waiting on forever. It's time, Fonz.
Yeah, it's time. God, I hope that they are consistent next year. That's one of the things I'm looking at 2023 in terms of even Xbox first party, Sony, never mind. Xbox first party, third party. Because I don't know what's coming out for Sony next year. Do you know? Like God of War's this year. Maybe Spider-Man 2.
It's supposed to have Spider-Man 2.
Spider-Man 2, and they just had some leaks about Spider-Man 2, how some executives at Marvel have seen the game and they thought they were watching a cutscene, but it was gameplay. And they were like blown away that's a massive step up in visuals.
Yeah, again, executives will say the darndest.
No,
things
not
sometimes.
executives, not Sony executives, like Marvel executives saw it and they thought they were watching like a cutscene.
Again, it's a Marvel property. They'll say the darndest things to sell games. They are making money off that as well. But no. Dude, we've got so many games on the horizon, so many third-party games that I'm looking forward to, as well as first-party games from Microsoft. There's so much to look forward to. I'm wondering if they're going to delay games purposely just to push some games back because it might be too stacked next year. I don't know.
That's the whole point. They want it to be stacked.
I
That's
hope
what's
so.
going to push Game Pass, man. And I've said it zillion times on the podcast. When all of this is in motion, it's going to be a thing of beauty, and we're going to look back at this drought and we're going to laugh, and Sony is not going to be able to compete with it because they just don't have the studios, and whether or not you want to say, oh, they're not all going to be AAA games, they're going to be good quality games, and I'm telling you right now, Sony will not be able to compete with that. They'll have their 1, 2, 3 exclusives a year, but Xbox is going to have far many more games once this is in motion. Sorry, Tim, go ahead.
No, I'm sorry. These are the games that are coming. That I'm just looking at just a brief list: Starfields, Minecraft Legends, Redfall, Wulong Fall, and Destiny. That's day one Game Pass.
So good.
Stalker 2. Remember that game?
I do.
That's, yeah, one of your favorites. Lies of P, Day One, Game Pass.
Forza Motorsport.
Forza Motorsports, and that's just like the first.
So many games.
That's like the first 6 months, guys.
Rise, Son of Rome 2.
And then don't forget Atomic Heart into Game Pass Day One as well.
Oh yeah, and that Banjo remake by Double Fine. Remember that?
And also, if the Activision deal, if the Activision deal goes through, you have Diablo 4, Day One. Listen, that's we're just talking for the games that I just listed were the first 6 months. Okay.
Yeah.
That's how loaded that they are. I don't think there's any chance that you're going to have a duplicate of this year unless COVID comes back and blows everything away. It's not. I mean, God forbid that happens. It's not going to happen. But there's no way that they're right now running with development. This is up and running. There's it's everything is getting better. And these games have been indefinitely delayed already.
Yeah. And these games were delayed into 2023.
Can I say that even like I'm annoyed with 2022. Everybody knows that. Everybody knows we're all annoyed that we want more games. But I do have to give Xbox some like just minuscule of credit that they're actually putting even more games on Game Pass. Like that Metal Hell Rising game is coming to Game Pass day and date, September next week. That game I was really looking forward to has like the System of the Down guy singing it, a bunch of metal people singing it. It looks insane. All these other games that are coming, they're like, oh yeah, day and date in Game Pass. Like they're still grabbing deals. Everything that we saw at E3 that we thought were coming for 2022, they're actually adding to it. So that's. I
mean, what are the most notable though? Like I expected maybe one or two bigger titles to be announced, day and date for Game Pass by now. Like I get that, every game is great to be added in there, but something that, is a little bit more notable.
Well, there's nothing coming out in September, bro. Everything got delayed till like December. So I think that hopefully in the next few months when shit actually starts coming out, we'll see some stuff. Because like what's coming out for Ubisoft this year? Like, there's
Tumbleweeds.
Nothing.
Tumbleweeds,
like,
the game.
That's it. And, and so I don't know. And then we've heard rumors of, who knows, maybe Deathloop comes. Because remember, we always thought about that. It's going to be a year where they can't put it on Game Pass. So there's a couple things out there that hopefully come true. I'm, like I said, and I've said it before, I love talking about next year. It's great because I love every game coming out, especially Diablo and all those stuff. But I better fucking see it next year or I'm going to get pissed, bro.
Hey, I do got to give a shout out to everybody leaving there. A lot of member chats being cashed in tonight. Exactly. You want to grab these and we can kind of figure out what the fuck's next?
Yeah, so I want to read it, even though you did, Gaz. I'm naked for you, Tim Dog. That's what he put. I just wanted to put it out there.
That's true,
Gaz
by the way.
Weird like
Thank
that.
you.
He sent me nude photos. We got.
Right.
Oh, you put Meat Puppet already on there. So we got Dark CMF, member for 28 months. So far, so good. Even with Fonz talking ish and playing games. Lol.
Fonz, what game are you playing, you prick?
No, he's talking about
He's
playing games with
powering
us, saying that it was buffering again.
Oh God.
Yeah, he's playing games.
I think
with
he
our
said
hearts.
that before Fonz did that. I'm not sure.
Oh, I don't know.
But yeah. I'm just messing around.
So we got Risk It, member for 6 months. So good to see RDX running sweet. What's up? All the panel you guys make Wednesday worth waking up early for. Chat, you all rock.
Wednesday
Thanks,
in
Risk It.
Australia, just so people don't be like, it's Tuesday. Thank you, Risk It.
So we got Bright Tundra 1, member for 19 months. Yo, champions. I'm just lurking about to start work. Matt Mick Booty has given me a bit of extra hype for the future. Till then, Digimon Survive is awesome. What the fuck?
Digimon Survive.
Digimon? I haven't heard Digimon in so long.
That's fucking throwback right there.
That is a fucking throwback.
Charmander. I want to go ahead and
That's Pokemon.
I don't give a fuck about none of that shit.
Bitch.
Yeah, I'm glad you enjoyed Digimon, okay? I just I never got into it.
Pokemon.
I got to give a shout out to again the chat as I stall here for a second. But yeah, Forza Motorsport, big update, or at least an update there with the team. Is super impressed. I get what Fonz is saying. It's their job to advertise. But if you pay attention to what Matt Booty said over the past year or two, it hasn't been anything like that, really. It's been, well, the shit's a little far out, fuck, it's just too far out. We can't say nothing. And now he's like, I really, really want to show you Fable. My job is to basically damage control and say I can't do that or, cover for the team, but I do want to show you Fable. Forza Motorsport is going to be the new bar when it comes to simulation racing games. Undead Labs are working with Coalition, basically the leaders behind Unreal 5 right now. That's why Epic and Coalition have worked together on their own tech demos. And then, of course, Undead Labs. I just have really high hopes for those guys. I'm hoping they're doing really, really well over there. Ever since they found out they had too much freedom, they fucked everything up. Now, hopefully, they got a little less freedom, and somebody's over there making sure they're on task. And then they also, huh? What?
Hello.
Are you there? Is anyone else there?
I'm here. I
What
don't know. what's
happened?
going
What
on.
I don't know. I just hear Zalker in the middle of my speech.
Sounded
Say-
like he was the Body Snatcher, Invasion of Body Snatcher.
He said, hello.
Walker, are you all right?
What the fuck?
Oh shit.
Well, Zalker's out. By the way, I had 125 dropped frames. Now, I don't know if that's abnormal, but that's about 2 seconds worth of drop frames. And, connection seems fine. So I think we're all still here, right?
Yeah, we're good, man.
Well, except for Zalker. Changeling, I don't know what happened to him.
Oh, something happened with his computer, maybe.
Somebody text him.
But yeah, again, Matt Booty did talk about Double Fine, and they got some cool, really some concepts over there that are really cool. And then he also mentioned InXile, which are apparently up to something really, really cool over there. I haven't heard anything about what they're doing, but they just released a teaser today, I think. Did anybody else see that?
No, I didn't.
I did not see that, but I'm back. My fucking headphones just cut out, and I thought everything died. And then everybody's making fun of me in the chat. They're like, COVID got Zalker's internet.
Oh, my God. So, yeah, InXile, I have no clue. Is Fonz here? I haven't heard Fonz.
No, Fonz is not in here anymore. I think his internet died.
His power probably went down. He'll be
Probably.
back, though.
All right, so they have, just to not to interrupt, they posted an interesting looking picture. Let your journey to peace begin at the far left star, and there's like this human guy, and there's a star, and it could be space.
Do you
Maybe
think
we
that's a
gotta go to
message
space,
to
maybe.
Sony fans that are always pissed off under the Xbox posts? Like, find your inner peace, fuck off, like, quit fucking with us.
yourself.
I think this might be a little bit of a tease, so I don't know.
Weren't they like making a cyberpunk type of game? Like steampunk or some shit?
Basics. I'm trying to reread what people are saying.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Chat, let us know if you've seen that. It's one of those pictures where it's like, look to the left. Now, all right, now look at the eyeball, and it says "fuck you" in the eyeball or something. It's one of those types of teasers, right?
It's being developed in Unreal Engine 5, and it's like, I know a new job reveal came out for it, where it's a first-person RPG, and Phil Spencer already, like, that's what Matt Booty was talking about. Phil Spencer played it and had a first-hand look at what the studio is like working on, and so yeah, I guess like it's in a playable state. Yeah, so there's some cool mechanics. That's all Matt Booty can say about it, but they're very excited for it. I know that. And they've given InXile a lot of money. I think they trust them a lot more than most studios, right? Like,
Yeah.
everything, like, they've already, like, a lot of the studios that they've bought lately, like, if you look at it, like, Double Fine and InXile, like, they've released games, right? Like, they've brought out something. I wonder what the fuck Compulsion's doing. Like, goddamn.
It looks like if you look at their Twitter, their last couple of posts kind of look like teases, but it's hard to say.
Probably just some like haikus or something, The Twitter guy over there is just having a little bit too much freedom. I mean, Hargy, what are you expecting? Jedi Knight Peter says they're working on the steampunk FPS, and apparently this is the thing that sold Xbox, or one of the things that sold Xbox in the acquisition. What are you hoping for over there? Are you hoping for some more cyberpunk style spiked dildos all over the place?
Well, hopefully not with the issues that Cyberpunk released with, but yeah, something like that. I think Project Cobalt. I think that was what the thing was supposed to be, right? So, yeah, hopefully it'll be a cool FPS. Now the games they have been sort of okay. I haven't really been able to get into them. I think they're supposed to be pretty good, but they're isometric, and I just kind of get bored with it for some reason. So, but yeah, hopefully this will work. I like first person, so. We'll see what they come up with, but it sounds like a good setting, and they are supposed to be pretty good. I think they created Fallout, right? That was them?
Like some of the guys that started in Exile
Fallout,
were the guys that originally
Wasteland.
started it.
Yeah. So yeah, hopefully it'll be pretty good. We'll see what they come up with.
I also think that they're if you remember, Fargo, I think his name is, right, the guy that runs
Brian
it.
Fargo.
Brian Fargo, yeah. So he was talking about like finally being able to make the games that they kind of wanted to make. Like, sure, they like the games that they make, but it was always on a budget. So now, if they're like pitching something to Xbox and they like it, it's like, yeah, they're just going to give them a shit ton of money. Go make the game and take your time. Like, that's all I could say. Just let them take their time. Let them bring something out good, and just don't fuck it up. Like, that's all I'm saying. Like, after Halo and everything, like, you got to make sure that your games come out very well done and ready to go. So that's all.
Yeah, to your point, Soccer, with the pushing back and saying no, we're not ready with Playground. I think that's what 343 needed to do, and they didn't. Maybe they did a little bit, but not enough. But
I mean,
yeah,
you
you're
can't
right.
push. You can't push back for 7 fucking years. It's like at that point, you're like, what are you doing, bro? Like, what's going on?
I mean, I think you can, and I think they should have. But
Yeah,
again, at the end of the day, there's a lot of updates on Halo. We'll cover that towards the end of the show. Big shout out to Alexander XT. We got It's Timmy, Ham Solo. Shout out to you, man. Papa Smurf. We've also got who is that? Beta Cypher. Shout out to you, man. Dr. Dinglenut. It's always good to see you in the chat. And Mr. Rigger, shout out to you, buddy. So many guys in the chat want to say hi to. If you haven't, tell a buddy to. We're live. Helps out a little bit. We're back up to speed on the show, and it's not exploding. It's not exploding. We got one chat from Mr. Murder Mittens, if you want to get it real quick, Zalker, and then we can move forward.
Mm-hmm. We have Mr. Murder Mittens. If a developer can't form their own ideas and in-house engines and goes with mainstream UE5, the games will become generic, and that's my thoughts.
What do you think about that?
I actually kind of agree. I think there needs to be more proprietary stuff out there. I think they need to be more creative out there, and I don't think that being under one engine is a good thing. I think that they need to kind of expand it. Like that's why even what's his face, David Jaffe talked about that on this show. He said that a lot of the innovation and crazy stuff that comes out is usually first party because they have proprietary software and proprietary like stuff that they've worked on. Like that's why Naughty Dog pushes the shit. That's why a lot cutting out at all.
Yeah, it's because I'm magical.
And it came back.
So it's back, right? It's back up to speed, but it did cut out for a few seconds there.
Yeah.
Well, as long as it didn't drop the show, that's the main thing.
Yeah, that's all that matters.
Oh yeah, I mean it's not, but again, this type of shit is not acceptable.
Right when I mentioned Naughty Dog, you just went down. You even notice that?
We didn't lose connection.
It's funny, right?
You said right when I mentioned fucking Naughty Dog, it went down. You see that?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, my bad.
Hey, Chat,
I won't mention them again.
Chat, let us know what you think about our first dip here. Obviously, you know,
it was literally like a second, though, to be honest.
It was, but it's too much. I demand better from the internet, and hopefully it's not more of a thing as the show goes. But we did make it, 40 minutes in? We started 10, 15 minutes late, so 40 minutes in. Without a single problem. So again, thanks for
and at 1440p. Hey.
Listen, and it wasn't knocking off. It did knock the show off. The other problem was it was knocking off the show. Let's just move on and let's see if it happens again.
Don't mention Naughty Dog again, bitch. You just did. I mean, Foddy Frog. Yeah. I mean, let me get this.
Game that shall not be named make pretty good games. You know what I'm
saying? Let me get. What is this? Dark CMF, shout out to you, buddy. $20 super chases. Xbox Game Pass. This is a nice code for you guys, chat. So again, if you win the Game Pass, let us know you won the Game Pass. Don't just steal it and then not say nothing. Give Dark CMF a shout out for giving away some Game Pass. He's awesome. And again, shout out to over 1,000 people watching us live. What was that, Hargy?
I think it's a $70 gift card. I think that's what it says.
Oh, okay. Yeah. $70 gift card. Even better for some people, man. It's a new game.
Yeah. Exactly.
But yeah, shout out to Dark CMF giving away $70 gift card, Xbox money. If you want to buy some Xbox games, there's tons of stuff coming out in a few months, including Gotham Knights, Callisto Protocol, and I don't know. Again, I was going to go on this whole thing about what would you spend it on, but we'll just let people in the chat decide that. Sony's longtime PlayStation hardware chief is retiring. He's retiring. The guy behind the PS4 to PS5. He's getting up there, man. He's 60 years old. That's not old. I'm not saying it's old, but he said, fuck it, I'm tired of all this shit. I want to retire. He's retiring at 60 years old, and he was the engineering lead for both the PS4 and PS5. he was the guy that came up with the ideas for the ports to suck the dirt out of the PS5, the vacuum ports. I don't know if this means anything. This means obviously they're going with someone else for the next PlayStation, which I'm sure they're already looking into. Anything come to mind to anyone at all? Does anyone give a shit about this chat? Let us know.
Congrats on your career. Have a good one. You made a pretty damn good PS4, and your PS5 looks like a fucking router. Thanks, bud.
I just want to know why there's a screw on it, or why there was a screw on it.
Well, yeah. Listen, you're talking about Churney, right?
No, it's Ewo or something.
Did you say Churney?
Oh, I thought
Cerny. But it's not Cerny.
Stop it. It's Masiyasu Ito. Maybe I butchered that.
Yeah, Ito.
I'm pretty sure he has a hand in the PlayStation 6 as well. He probably had some input into that because they plan these things way in advance.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty sure that's far ahead.
It's just in the background. But make sure there's a screw.
But I don't think it's gonna really affect them overall. Maybe design wise might get a new design language with the next iteration of the PlayStation, but I don't think overall it's a big deal. I think they got good people over there, and at that age, yeah, it is pretty young, but in that culture, they do tend to retire a little bit earlier. So you know what? All the best to him. The PlayStation 4 was a pretty good device. The PlayStation 5, I don't want to say it's a bad device. It's a pretty good device. It's the design that's horrible, and I'm just not a fan of the controller. Like the new feedback is nice on it, but it still dies pretty quickly. So you know, maybe with his departure, we can get some of these issues fixed with a new outlook on things. So you know, I wish him all the best, and let's see what happens with the PlayStation going forward.
Yeah, they're also releasing a new PS5 model, a new SKU here. It's going to be a gray camouflage collection for the PS5. So there's accessories. This is interesting. So they're trying to hide the bitch now because it's pretty big. But I don't know about you guys, but I would like a smaller PS5, which we know won't come until probably another year or two. At least.
If lucky.
I saw some people talking about this online, and like, listen, some of you fanboys, I don't care what side you're on. Some of you are just like way too much. Some guys are like, "Oh my gosh, it's camouflage. You guys are so insensitive to the war that's going on." And I was like, "Come on, man! Like it's camouflage. Like it's so stupid. Like honestly, I don't know why they didn't come."
Hang on, people are trying to make this about.
Yeah,
real life
I saw
stuff?
a couple. Yeah, I saw a couple tweets. You got
man
out there. What are we gonna do?
Who cares? Who
personally-
cares what they say?
Personally, I think
Ignore
instead of
them.
coming out with a camouflage console, give us a smaller damn console. Even if you trim an inch off of the damn thing, that thing is just atrocious. I never look at my PlayStation. It looks awful.
Why do you gotta be
Sorry, it
toxic
does.
right now, D-Batch?
That's
I know,
the truth,
D-Batch.
man.
What the
So,
fuck's your problem?
Look.
deal with my toxicity.
I do think that the PlayStation 4 really he deserves a lot of credit for that. They kicked Xbox's ass. But I do feel like PlayStation 5 design wise compared to Series X and Series S, definitely they're lacking. It's a pretty good system, but compared to what Xbox did, just on a design wise, the way they have the even though it's a little more expensive, the chips in the back, those things, for the memory, those things are really easy. Nobody really I'll say this 100 times over. Nobody wants to take a screwdriver, including myself, who's dealt with tech, and open something up and knock it in. I mean, I'm most people like me will do it and it won't be a big deal. But when you ask a family to do that, or some guy, a father or a mother,
Are you talking about the stand?
no, the way they have to open up.
SSD.
Oh,
the
yeah.
SSD, like that's a real bad design choice, and just the size of it. I mean, it's really big.
Look, I'll be honest. I had to bounce mine on the floor to get the plates off. They were snapped in there so tight. It's the tombstone method, and it does work. I can confirm. You just kind of lightly bounce it upside down until they pop off. Cole how to do the same thing. But I do got to give a shout out to One Bad Mother. Shout out to you. We got Mr. Bushido and so many others. Greg E3, as well as James Bruno. Nice name. Also, I don't know if you guys really wanted to go in on, a new model like that. I don't know. I can't believe people are trying to make this about real world stuff. It's a camouflage. People wear camouflage. It's just weird that people take it there. But there's some other news when it comes to PlayStation. More evidence suggests that Returnal is headed to PC. There's new video shows options not available on the PS5. So somebody's basically played the game. They've shown some UI
resolution
stuff,
scalers,
resolution scalers, and everything's out for saying.
A bunch of different stuff in the settings, and it was on Steam database, Steam DB. So yeah, it's looking like Returnal, and I have to say, I've just beat Spider-Man on Steam. Fucking loved it. I'm playing Days Gone, the game I've trashed for 3 years, and I'm enjoying it on the PC. I'm enjoying them better there because they're just better ports, and maybe because all the bugs are gone from a lot of the games that they like, Days Gone especially. But
that
Sony's ports, and I'm a fuck bitch.
Yeah.
But Sony is fucking making some great ports, and I just want all their games to come there so I can enjoy them even more. Hargeet can attest to this. Like, I think me and Hargeet are kind of like in the same boat. We're like, we'll just kind of play when it comes there, kind of thing. But I don't know. I think that they need to start doing day and date, because at this point you're just like flirting with it, and your sales, if you expect to make $300 million in PC in the next fiscal year, I don't know where you're going to get that, but it's not going to be from Last of Us remastered.
You know where they're going to get that.
From a lot of stuff.
They're getting it from the little PC guys.
And that,
I mean, they got to bring day and date then, man. They got to.
That's a missed opportunity too. The Last of Us 2 remake, that should be coming to PC day and date that it's coming to the consoles. Like, first of all, that game's been out a gazillion times already on the console. So why are you staggering its release on the PC? You could get optimal sales and attention for your game by releasing it day and date. And I think they see the numbers that these games are getting not being day and date. So they're not idiots over there. They got to know that if they release day and date, that they're gonna increase their sales exponentially.
Don't you ever say they're not idiots over there, D-Batch. Don't you ever do that again. Some of them might be.
Yeah, it's just day and date. Like, what are we doing here? The ports are good. PC guys are loving it. It plays well on PC. Day and freaking date. Nothing to be afraid of. Two different gamers, man. Two different consumer bases. Let's do it.
Yeah, and again, we're saying that on this show 5 years ago. Literally the second episode of the show. I'm saying this just all their shit's going to come to PC. It's a matter of time for its day and date. Whether it's 2 years or 10 years, it's inevitable. It's going to happen.
I think by end of next year, it's going to start to go that way, because they're dropping a lot of games on PC this year alone, like 4 or 5. And next year, right? Like the next year, it's like probably Last of Us 2 and Ghost of Tsushima, Returnal, and a couple of the other ones. And it's just I think better start doing a day and date, because, like, again, PC gamers are gamers. They're not gonna go pay top dollar for a game that's 2 years old. Like, they're just gonna be like, all right, we'll just wait till it's on sale, because we waited that long, right?
I mean, I don't know about that.
If it's day and date, they're gonna get way better hype, man. Way more people are gonna buy it.
They're gonna get more sales.
It is what it is.
Usually that logic applies to people that have the option 2 years before, though. Like, I passed on it when it's 70 on the PS5. To them it is brand new because they don't have the consoles or the other options. So I think a lot of them will buy it. And I got to give a shout out to Ash and Luca in the chat. Shout out to you. It's always great to see her. Dreadpool, the moderators, Boss Mod, Lethal Papa, Dreadpool, and many, many others, as well as Noof Nukem and so many other guys. Shout out to you guys. So D-Bash, what were you going to say?
Just to add what you're saying there. Yeah, they're gonna play it, but you miss out on the excitement when everybody's playing that game initially. There's spoilers out there on how the game ends. There's at this point you've probably seen lots of gameplay for it, so your excitement level is not going to be the same as when it initially.
It's
comes
definitely
out,
better day and date. Yes.
Yeah, like it's like watching a movie, 6 months later, opposed to watching it in the movie theater. It's just a completely different experience where you can talk about it in the now, right? So just release the games day and date on PC, and especially if you want to compete with Microsoft, they're going to have to do it. So whether they want to do it or not, if they come kicking and screaming, whatever, it's going to happen. And hopefully sooner than later.
Am I the only one that would rather wait until the fucking thing hits 4K Blu-ray or something? Because is it me or these damn screens in the theaters, man? Like they gotta update these shits because they don't got HDR. The blacks are like
Yeah, the blacks
horrible
are
on it. Like I mean, the image quality is horrible at the theater. So I'm like, I'm waiting. I'm like, I gotta watch this bitch on OLED.
I agree. I hardly go to the theaters now. Just maybe like a big blockbuster like Spider-Man, just to get the oohs and ahs with the crowd. But fidelity-wise, like it's just way better watching.
I want to know what the chat thinks about that too. I want to know what the chat thinks about that. If you had the similar outlook here, and I get the experience, you know, but
the pandemic killed theaters for me. Like every time I go there now, it's like like you said, it's like not as good a quality, and then it's like people are talking, and there's some fucking person just chomping down on some freaking box.
That's always been how it's been.
Damn, bro. I know, but like when you after the pandemic, you're kind of like, God damn, that's it's not a good experience. Like it just isn't. It's like
screw that. When somebody coughed in the theater during the pandemic, I was out.
Yeah, well, now you can cough without being shanked. And let us know your thoughts, Jet. Big shout out to Danny Passion, by the way. He says, let's go here playing the only IP that scares Sony. I'm assuming that's Call of Duty. Ashtray with a Backstreet Boys reference. Ashtray's back, all right. And then we've also got Jay Blaze. Shout out to him. He says, Zauker the GOAT, that is all. Jay Blaze is on crack.
Hell yeah!
We've also got Aaron JF94, who does say, love you guys to death. Wish me luck. Life's tough, brother. We've been there, and we really do wish you luck. Reach out, talk to some friends, and lean on people, because sometimes you gotta. There's no crutches around. You just got to use what's around you. Dark CMF, again, my opinion on theaters versus home theaters. I'm building the cathedral for that reason. So Dark CMF with an 80+ inch OLED trying to go to town. Also, shout out to over 1,000 people watching us live, guys. Hit the like button. Tell a buddy or two we're live. We do appreciate you. Thanks for making the show what it is, whatever that might be. Some fucking assholes talking on microphones. We've had very few technical issues today, and that's great. And next week, we'll try to make that 0. Once more, 1440p. Check it out. This is Berman Tide 2. It is Dark Tide developer. This is their last game. So let us know if you played that.
When were you playing this?
Recently, actually. But this is
Randall Thor 19 not reading a book. He's playing with you. What the fuck?
Yeah. This isn't newer footage though. But I figured I would show it off. And hopefully the stream would be there to show it off. So it has been so far. Let's move forward. And we can kind of cover something real quick. We know Returnal's coming to PC. We know that Ghost of Tsushima will eventually come to PC. We know Death Stranding's now on Xbox Game Pass, and some guys that trashed it before absolutely love it now. It's on Xbox Game Pass. That game's still trash. But hey, Cyberpunk is still around as well. If you guys forgot, not only did they talk about a new big expansion for the game, but it's now running at 60 FPS on the Xbox Series S. And I remember talking about this when the patch hit for the next-gen version, running at 30, that they could, of course, do this. It's common sense. And it's nice to see that it's running pretty decently on the Series S. A little $250, $300 console running this game, looking this good, Tim. I don't know if you've seen this, but Cyberpunk never looked so good on a $300 console.
Pretty impressive, the Series S. I know they recently had an update to a lot more memory. I don't think that had anything to do with this getting a 60 frames per second update. Basically, as we said at the time, and it was becoming like a fanboy thing, but at the time it was developers' resources. They're gonna attack the next gen system, the Series X and PlayStation 5, and then down the line you'll probably see this stuff. It doesn't mean that Series S cannot do it in a lot of these cases. It's just a matter of prioritizing the consoles. I mean, it's great though that you can, like you said, for $300, the Series S is the bargain, and especially times like these. It's a great thing to have. You could have the Series S and Game Pass family.
Did you
that be completely set?
Well, did you see why this happened? Did you see what the expansion is?
Because he's in a good mood. That's why it happened.
No, the expansion is exclusive to the next gen consoles only. I
didn't see that.
The DLC, that Cyberpunk DLC, is not coming to PS4 or Xbox One. And so they dropped support of last gen consoles and they brought out a massive patch today for the consoles, which again you were talking about the Xbox Series S, but PC across all platforms. And and that expansion, the Phantom Liberty, is only coming to next gen consoles. So that is an indication that a lot of the stuff that like, do you remember like it's running great on PS4 and Xbox One?
Yeah, it's an indication that they was lying their asses off, but it's also an indication that they want to focus their efforts and make a more polished experience, which is a good sign. I don't think it's anything to do with it couldn't run a last gen. Obviously it could, but they want to they want to funnel their efforts, man. They want to polish this and erase some of that bad stigma the game has.
Yeah. And I'm surprised it's coming out next year. A lot of people were saying that it was coming out at the end of this year. And they didn't put a date on it. They just said 2023. So again, I think this is going to be a really big patch. I've been thinking about playing Cyberpunk during the holiday season when, work's a little lighter. But I mean, now that they got a lot of patches, it seems like it's going to be running pretty well. And this new expansion, if you saw I don't know if you guys saw the trailer for it. It looked cool, man. It looked actually like what Cyberpunk should have fucking been or something. Like, I don't know. It just looked really cool.
Look, remember, trailers advertising, okay? They're supposed to get you hyped up.
I like getting hyped up, man.
I know you do, you fuck.
I like video games.
Tim Dog, what were you going to say, buddy?
No, I just wanted to say I think it's a good thing that they're still doing that. This game originally was, if you remember, was a showcase for Xbox One X. And it was supposed to be like, the big thing there. Obviously, this game was way too much for that last generation of consoles. But I just think as a whole, the industry has to start moving on with, last generation, because you're still seeing a lot of games that have PlayStation 4, Xbox 3, Xbox One, on them, and they're coming out. And I'm like, what the hell's going on? If you remember last generation, it was pretty much 2 years, and then it just cut off. Everything was next gen. Obviously, this generation, there's been a lot of issues, pylon issues, whatever you want to say, all types of things that were unforeseen. But yeah, we got to really start to ratchet that up. We're now going into the third year of next generation. We got to start getting rid of these older consoles.
There's a reason for that, though. Everything that's happened over the last 2 years, has basically pushed everything back a year. And I think that's largely a big part of it. But D-Bash, what were you going to say?
Also, the PC architecture, right? It being the same on the consoles now, it's easier for them to port it over, right? Where before, it was a new, they weren't using x86, they were using whatever they were using at the time.
PowerPC.
And you had to kind of go for it. You had no choice. Some of the games just couldn't be cross-platform. And I'm done with it too, to be honest with you. If I'm just being completely honest, some of my love for video games has died a little bit just because of the repetitive nature, the freaking Maddens and all these games that are coming out are just looking a little bit better than the previous version. That's why with Unreal Engine 5, I'm truly excited. I'm just frothing at the mouth for the games to start coming out on Unreal Engine 5. That's really going to push gaming forward. The visuals, and hopefully we're going to get
play
some
more games, man.
Elements. But
legit, if your shit's getting hurt, because of that, play other games.
Listen, here's something you need to know about D-Bash.
No, but listen,
just look up a game called Vampire Survivors on fucking Game Pass. Look up that game. It looks like shit, but it is one of the most addicting games I've ever played.
Listen, you need to read D-Bash's eHarmony profile, all right? This man is motivated by graphics, all right?
Listen, I'm at the point where, it's fine if the game, it plays good and it's fun. That's great. Fantastic. Hooray. But we're at the point now where we can get great playing games that have great graphics. There's no excuse not to have both. And I want both of that. That's what next generation is. For the last 6, 7, 8 years, we've been playing the same type of games. So for me personally, I'm excited to step out of that and to get games that look next generation, that look fantastic and are fun too. Being fun is part of the game, of course. You want your game to be fun, obviously. But I want graphics too, and there's no reason with the technology that we have now that we can't have both. So that's what I'm excited for.
I get it. Like some people, they go for visuals, and obviously, to me, gameplay and fun goes without saying. Like, I'm not playing Death Stranding because to me, delivering strap-ons to people is not fun. But I think the game looks cool. Will it hold my attention for that? No, it will not. That's why, again, gameplay and fun go without saying it. That's why I don't mention it as much as maybe I should. Because it's common sense. I'm not playing shit that plays really, really badly and isn't fun. It's not happening. But I also understand that D-Batch is, that's one of the top things for him is graphics, right? That's a lot of people. That's why you buy a $500 box at launch, right? You want the new generation stuff that can bring you what you haven't really seen before. I completely understand. But yeah, there are also some other experiences, D. I don't know if you've played even Vermintide 2 here. You know, it looks phenomenal. Obviously much better than the stream will show it even at 1440. But yeah, I mean, it's a fun game. It looks great too. There's a ton of games out there like that.
But and it does look good. I'm not saying it doesn't look good. It does look fun from what I've seen here. But now tell me this. Now imagine this in Unreal Engine 5. Wouldn't you not be a lot more excited?
I mean, yeah, obviously the better game looks. A great game that looks better than it did maybe a year ago is a better game to me. So yeah, I'm with you right there.
That's where we need to be. We need to be with the solid core gameplay with the nice shiny graphics, and I really do believe that Unreal Engine 5 is going to bring that. I'm going to stand by that, man.
Yeah. I'm just laughing at the chat.
UE5, the demos of it look fantastic, right? They're pretty close to real. The issue, the concern I have is 30 FPS. I don't want to go back to 30 FPS just because of the graphics. So as long as they say, okay, you can go to like the old style graphics and have 60 or 120, great, fine. But it does look phenomenal though. I gotta say, it looks
realistic,
it's ridiculous. But,
realistically, Hargy, I think we're gonna have some games, unfortunately, that will be at 30 FPS on Unreal Engine 5. But I also think there's gonna be some games where we're using DLSS like features to get 60 FPS, or we're doing 1080p at 60 FPS. And because the image quality is so clean and clear, 1080p at 60 FPS on Unreal Engine 5, it'll pretty much look like a 1440p resolution game now. You know what I'm saying? Because it's just, the fidelity is just so high and so rich. So, 60 FPS is very important, but I think we're going to get a lot of Unreal Engine games at 60 FPS just with the current hardware at a lower resolution. That's all.
I think Hargeet nailed it. 60 FPS or GTFO. You just can't, and that's a good thing, because with Series X at least, and even Series S, it just seems that they're getting patched later when developers are like, oh yeah, we just reduced the fucking resolution and whatever, right? But 60 FPS is becoming quite the norm. Zucker, we got a few chats here. We got a few chats here. You want to line these up and then we can move forward some. Chat, again, thanks for watching us, guys. Over 1,000 people watching live. We appreciate you very much. Hit the like button, tell our buddies who we're live. It does help more than you know.
All right, so we got Jay Blaze. He says Zalker the GOAT with or without crack.
I already said Jay Blaze was on crack for that. Move forward.
No, he put another chat up.
Oh shit, you're on crack again, Jay Blaze.
He called me the GOAT twice, bitch.
Send this man to rehab.
We got Risk It. It is a missed opportunity. Would have been the perfect game to go day and date. I don't think they're going day and date until around 2024, 2025. I know lots. Zalker doesn't.
Don't take the bait. Don't take the bait.
I'm not going to even say anything.
He slid out from under a bed in a coffin and typed that.
He did. He came out of his own grave and he was like, I'm going to say some shit. So we got Nano Polymath. He says they also promised 3 DLCs in the scale on Witcher. This is the only DLC coming. Yeah, I mean, we'll see what happens. I mean, I don't know if we're ever going to see CD Projekt Red do what they did with Witcher. Like, I don't think it's going to happen.
Listen, bitch, don't put that out there. Next. No, shout out to Dano. He's right, and that's a good point. They're bringing 1, and maybe the scope has changed on it. Maybe it's gotten a little bigger, or maybe a little more polished, more likely.
It's one quest.
But, yeah, I mean, Witcher is... I don't know. To me, I would rather them just say, fuck this shit and hurry up and patch Witcher for next gen. If that's the RPG, if you want a real RPG experience like that is unrivaled, that's it right there.
We got and Elden Ring. We got Twisted Twisted Mental. He says a lot of theaters have been upgraded, but the way movies look in the theaters are director's choice. That's why a lot of TVs now come with what they call a true theater mode or a director choice.
Yeah, I don't know any theater that has some kind of micro LED screen or OLED screen that can rival home displays right now.
Just to answer that, yes, the director has an intent. So, the nits might be at a certain level. And of course, the color is graded at a certain level. But like Dealer was saying, that doesn't address, the overall brightness of the movie screen, or the gray blacks that you get on the movie screen, or just some of the smears that you get on some of these older screens that you're watching the movies on. So the home experience, even with the director cut, I'm sorry, it's gonna look better than it does in the theater. It just will.
We got a pretty cool chat in the chat. Obviously, John Bon Zombie, shout out to you. He says, I'm seeing a lot of people say State of Decay 3 will be out next year. I have actually spoken to the developers, and trust me, they're, yeah, the way it's sounding, no, it's not going to be. Yeah, I don't know who's saying it'll be out next year. I feel like that's common sense. State of Decay 3 is a ways out, and part of that is because they are still trying to figure out exactly the scope of the game, right? They're kind of going a lot more ambitious with this than they did the previous one. State of Decay 2 is just what State of Decay 1 should have been, honestly. And while that's fun for State of Decay fans, they're trying to go bigger for this, and I just hope it turns out great. But thanks for your comment, and obviously everyone in the chat, let us know your thoughts as we do move forward. But yeah, I forgot what the hell I was going to say about the last chat, but you're right, D-Batch. Theaters, they just don't have the display technology. I know it's extremely expensive, and I know they've never been in the worst position to upgrade, probably historically. They're kind of on the edge there.
There's like, I forget the theaters that carry them. There's like maybe like 4 or 5 theaters in the States that have like state-of-the-art screens that deliver great HDR and whatnot, but there's like 4 or 5 of them in the States, man. So,
and none of them is near me. So I'm going to go ahead and move forward. Zalker, actually, there's a big thing on Callisto Protocol, Game Pass, stuff like that. If you want, you can tackle that while I run off the mic for a second. Just read out these quotes and stuff. You.
So Callisto Protocol is not coming to Game Pass anytime soon. Chatting to True Achievements, Striking Distance Studios Chief Technology Officer Mark James said the Game Pass model was a difficult one in the financial terms for independent studios with single-player games, something that Callisto Protocol is. This is what he said, I quote, "I think those services are built towards some of the open-world style and repetitive multiplayer games. I think games like that survive well on this service." James said when discussing the possibility of seeing a title like the Callisto Protocol joining Game Pass. He says, I quote, "Microsoft has their own single-player games within the service, and I still think you're going to see the platform holder studios provide single-player games in them. I'm just saying that as a financial model, it's a difficult one to make work as an independent studio," he said. So I saw this too, and I don't know. I think I think that Game Pass is very young still, and I think it brings a lot of fear to developers. I mean, we had a developer on here, talking about Hypercharge, saying like they didn't know if they wanted to put it up there because it's financially like, is it going to be better for them if they sell more units or Game Pass this? And, that whole thing is still up in the air with Game Pass.
Hang on. You got to go back to that because that was something that kind of threw me off when we asked that question. And shout out to the developer of Hypercharge, but, you got to be 100% about some of this stuff. Like, when that was said, that's why I instantly said, well, you decide if the deal is good or not before you sign. And he agreed with that. But it kind of reminds me of, well, for one, we know that it's not true that Game Pass isn't necessarily good for single-player models because we have seen games like Guardians of the Galaxy jump in there and the developers are like, holy shit, we like Game Pass. That's a single-player game right there. No other options, right? We've seen countless games join and stay in Xbox Game Pass because they like the amount that they're being paid. It's not necessarily anything other than the amount that you agree on. And we've seen examples of some developers get greedy afterwards and say, oh man, it got so much more engagement than we thought it might get. We wished we got more. But that's not Game Pass's issue. That's, you saw how much more engagement you didn't expect to get as much as you did, and you then went back in time with Time Cop and was like, fuck, I should have got more. Let's re-sign this. No, you signed what you signed. You were happy with it. That's something that is happening on both PlayStation, and Xbox.
That is still fear then, right? Because it is sort of a gamble. Like if you sign it with Game Pass, great, cool. You make your money, probably make your development back money-wise, or a lot of it.
But you agreed to that before you see any results.
I know that. I know what you're saying. Like, you agree to it. That's fine. That's what the decision you made. You live with it.
Yes.
But can you imagine if you did that and then the game blows up and you freaking have like millions of people playing it and you're like, fuck!
Yeah, that's called getting greedy after the fact, like a fuckface.
Exactly. I know that, but that's a gamble.
They could handle that though, right? That could be like, if people play more than 5 hours, you get extra bonuses, whatever, right? That's a deal thing. We know they make singular deals with everybody, right?
Yes.
So it's really up to them, up to the developer. Look, this is really because they have marketing with Sony. Let's just own that. They're blocked from doing it on Game Pass anyway. So they gave you a politically good answer. The real answer is Sony told them, fuck off, you can't go on. That's the real answer. It doesn't matter, right? That's really it.
So that contract, that
The
like
goddamn
Resident Evil, right?
contract thing.
The contract thing. Shout out to Fonz. I guess his power ain't been back on, but we covered this with Resident Evil, where contracts from Capcom leaked, and basically in the contract from Sony, they said you can't go to Game Pass for what was it, 10 months or a year?
Yeah, like it was some number, and that's what happened with MLB The Show when it came to Game Pass. We were making fun of it, and we're like, a bad contract? I don't know. And then it ended up being that Sony wasn't ready for Game Pass day and date shit, and now they're making like contracts where people can't put it on Game Pass.
Yeah,
like they're trying to stunt the growth, and we've seen that with this litigation going on with Activision Blizzard.
Yep.
Right, like Xbox basically calling out Sony, saying actually you're trying to stunt the growth of something that gives people better opportunity to play games.
Yeah.
And so that is a big fact. I think what Hargeet said is true. I forgot that Callisto Protocol was marketing rights with Sony. So that could be another big thing, that he's just saying shit, just talking around his ass, so he can just say whatever he has to say because he can't go on there.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting, and I'd love to know the chat's perspective. Speaking of Big Cloud Gaming, shout out to you. He says, glad to see everything is up and running. Salute, dealer. Shout out to you, brother. He was one of the first ones to offer to help me with issues with the stream when that stuff was happening more crazily. That is, shout out to Big Cloud, though. He's come a long way, and he's doing some really, really cool stuff. Big shout out to Space Dova King, by the way. He says, fire emoji, fire emoji, fire emoji, fire emoji, fire emoji. And he's been a member for 9 months, and I like that many fire emojis because that means that we can move forward. Not only is Callisto Protocol, well, no one expected it to come to Game Pass day and date. We don't expect it to come to any service, but that game, it's going to be awesome. I'm super excited to play it. I just don't know, but I think Hargeet is absolutely correct. Hargeet, you're saying that the contract says fuck off for like a year.
Yep.
All right.
That's the typical Sony, right?
Or 2 years, or whatever.
Yeah, here recently 2 years.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, so we'll see what happens. I mean, we see what happens with Final Fantasy. We see what happened with a bunch of all these other games. Sony, when they lock something down, they lock it down for a long time.
Yep.
And they look straight dead in the eye and they say, fuck you. You know, Microsoft, they say Microsoft has released their own single-player games within the service, but don't think it's a good idea, blah, 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 blah. We know that's not true, though. I just got to restate that. There's no evidence to suggest that. One, the developer agrees to the amount in the contract, the term support goes in there. And who would agree to something like that if they're not happy with it? First and foremost. And secondly, developers that have gone in there, like the guys behind Guardians of the Galaxy, are extremely happy with a lot of the engagement they're getting. And they're even selling more copies because of Game Pass, right? So there's a lot there, man. I just think it was kind of an ill-informed statement on behalf of these guys. But again, doesn't mean I'm not excited for their game. It just means that they don't know as much about how Game Pass works as the people that actually subscribe to it. Let us know your thoughts about that down below. Speaking of Game Pass, September Xbox Game Pass games. There are a lot here. Grid Legends, console and PC. That's available now, by the way. I seen Lethal playing it earlier. Disney Dreamlight Valley. That shit's fire. That's console and PC. That's out right now as well. You've also got Opus Magnum. That's also out right now as well. Train World Sim 3, console and PC. That's out. We've also got Ashes of the Singularity. That's only on PC, so no one gives a fuck. September 13th for that one. As well as, I don't know, Zach, are you going to try that out? I mean, I'm not an RTS fan, but I can't be bothered to boot up a PC to play them anymore.
Metal Hellsinger. It's a benchmarking game, yeah. Metal Hellsinger is the one I'm looking forward to the most out of everything that they just showed off.
They got DC Leagues of Super Pets. That shit's good, day one. Adventures of Crypto and Ace. That's console. That's going to be available September 13th.
Dude, the one game that looks funny, and I saw a trailer for it on the Xbox channel, I think. It was the one right there that you suck at parking. That just looks like a stupid-ass fun game, bro. Like, I'm going to play that. Like,
and that's available September 14th on Cloud Console. And then we've also got Despot's Game. What is that?
Despot's Game? I don't fucking know.
Well, that's September 15th. And then Metal Hellsinger, which is something I'm interested in. I'm, big System of a Down fan. I wish those fuckers would get together and actually release some more albums. But, people can't help but shoot their own legs off with their egos. Metal Hellsinger is console and PC. That's September 15th. Not a bad month for Game Pass, especially DC Wonder Pets or whatever the fuck it's called. I cannot wait for that. Grid Legends, I bought it day one when it came out. I think it handles better than the previous Grid games, but fuck, the story is just, I guess you expect a cringy story, but It's a racing game, and it don't handle bad. So let us know if you played Grid Legends or any of these others that are already out. More to come, and I'm sure they will have more. But, I mean, Tim, anything out here stand out? Did you get a chance to try Grid or anything?
No, nothing really is standing out. I've been playing Power Wash Simulator, as you were making fun of me the other day.
You're on the cloud, though, and there's a reason for that, and I now know that.
Listen, the only thing I would keep an eye out on, I know that you've heard different, is Deathloop. I think they might have an announcement 15th or so, or whenever this.
I told you when we were talking that I heard the same thing from someone else, that it actually will hit this year. I don't know. I personally don't know.
Yeah. Well, I think it's a good shot that I would pay attention around the 15th. My feelers have been pretty good on it, so doesn't mean it's going to come out. Sometimes I've been wrong. Sometimes, but I do think that day after, and the fact that Sony put it in PSN Plus was kind of like a preemptive, act, because they know that we're going to get it in Game Pass, or suspect it. Could be the deal. So I don't think there would be anything contractual for them to not work on the game. Maybe Zorka would know, but I think they could work on an Xbox port and then release it the day of, when they're legally not binded to talk about it and release it. And I would say,
I mean, there's a PC of Deathloop's on PC, so I'm sure they have an Xbox port ready to go.
right.
Like, I think they made it in tandem, and I think they probably did have like a year exclusivity. And now that they're a first-party studio, they probably are gonna, have that ready to go. And if not, then they'll just throw it in PC Game Pass anyways.
Yeah,
Right.
so agreed. You're probably definitely going to see in PC Game Pass. Very good point. But I do think it's going to come to the console. The console guys will be definitely pissed off if that happens. You'll get some information, I believe, the day after the exclusivity deal runs, and that's assuming that's a year. I don't think that they would go much more than a year on Deathloop. They would have probably went 2 years on Starfield or a game like that. They would probably secure down. But Deathloop wasn't really, it was one of their lesser titles, or it was anticipated, but it wasn't on the level of Starfield or their bigger games. So if they did get 2-year exclusivity, wow, it just shows you that Xbox definitely would have to, protect themselves with their own dealings, because that would be crazy.
Yeah.
But like I said, I'm gonna say I have good feelings that you're gonna get some news, a Game Pass. You'll probably get some stupid freaking tease, and and when you get that tease,
Little nipple slip and whatnot.
Yeah,
Lone Wolf wants to know. Lone Wolf wants to know why PlayStation got Deathloop before we, and kind of when does that stuff end? They had that deal with Bethesda before they were acquired, and they've gotten not just one but 2 Bethesda games before we have, which Deathloop and Ghostwire Tokyo, which apparently came out to much less great reviews.
They were trying to get Starfield.
And they were trying to lock down Starfield, yes.
And they pretty much probably would have gotten them if Xbox, I do believe, that Xbox saw. I do believe one of the reasons why Bethesda is exclusive the way they are, because Xbox kind of got pissed off with the way Sony was handling a lot of the restricting these games. So I think that you're not going to see it with the Call of Duty deal, because as you see, regulators are up their ass and stuff like that. But
I still think there's more to that, though.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Sony is up the regulator's ass.
yeah.
He's trying to
But,
tell.
The statement that you're right, because Phil's statement about Call of Duty, several more or more PlayStations was very curious, because that could mean next gen that they're saying goodbye.
Yeah,
I guess it depends on where they are, but that's all going to play out. But as far as Deathloop, I think it's a good shot.
And two, for those who are curious about Call of Duty and that stuff, I know that I don't even like covering this thing every week because it gets, again, it's Activision. Recently, Phil said he's feeling really very good about the progress. Again, we've pretty much always said this stuff is a no-brainer. I feel like it'll go through. But he did specifically state recently that they want to release the same version of COD at the same time as other platforms on PlayStation, but he didn't say. He said many. He said like he didn't say many years or indefinitely. He said several years, and I just don't understand because when they're saying something, they usually say it. Like when they said, ZeniMax games will release everywhere where Game Pass is. That's basically where they're going to release, with the exception of like ESO and stuff like that. They're going to keep that stuff running, blah, blah, blah.
Well, they said that when that specific thing about Bethesda and ZeniMax, they said it when the deal was done.
Yeah.
So that's like, I mean, I think there is a lot more going right now. I think the regulators are a problem. And that's why, like, because before with Bethesda, they didn't say shit. It was just quiet. Nothing was being said because they knew that thing was going to get done. Nothing was going to, like, jump on it. But with this one, Phil is talking a lot now. And they're talking about, a lot of the Activision Blizzard stuff because I think the regulators are causing a problem. And so we'll see if it
So
goes
now
through.
you're
I
saying
think
they
it
can
does.
trick the regulators with this stuff, Zalker? Which one
No,
is
it's
it?
not true. It's not tricking. I think they have to say things publicly.
They're being
I think
sneaky.
they have to be a little, they have to be a little, snake in the grass shit, man. Like I'm just saying, like they got it. I think they have to talk, and I think it is because of what Hargy just mentioned that Sony is trying to block this fucking deal, and that is a fact.
I mean, they
Like, we've
literally
seen
went
it
and
done.
told on them like bitches. We know, like, they're
They did.
definitely...
They said, "Ooh,
They said-
I don't like this."
They said, regulators help.
They did.
And they also said they can't compete and all this other stuff we've talked about before. But, again, chat, let us know your thoughts. The Call of Duty thing, I've shown examples and videos of them literally saying that, Bethesda games will come to Xbox first and it'll be first and best on Xbox and then other platforms. And then 2 months later, they literally show Phil the quote him saying, it's going to be on Game Pass. If you don't get Game Pass, fuck off. So I don't buy any of this stuff until it's actually done. Let us know if you do. And obviously, that's something I want to hear more of from you guys. Kind of your thoughts on this whole Activision Xbox deal. Zachary, we got a few chats if you want to grab these, sir. By the way, guys, 1,000 people watch this live. If you haven't, hit the like button. Tell everybody you were live. We do appreciate it. And obviously, let us know your thoughts.
All right, so we got Splendiferous. He says, I think they should lock Jim Bryan in a 4x4 room and ask him through a window, tell us the truth, Jim, how many people you pay to talk shit about Game Pass, you beep. Goddamn, Splendiferous.
Splendiferous is crazy.
He is kind of crazy. And then we got Nano Polymath. That Callisto developer has since deleted the tweet and backtracked claims that's not what you initially meant. Wow. Would you look at that? He's like, I'm JK.
Yeah,
trying
but
to-
don't they
that's
always do
saving
that,
face.
though? Like, I mean, I feel like they always do that shit because they get a little flack or they realize they weren't thinking when they were speaking, I guess.
Well, they're realizing, oh, wow, Microsoft and Xbox are a massive partner in the gaming realm. Maybe I shouldn't be a fucking idiot.
Dude, I
Like,
think
just
it's
saying.
PlayStation's like, hey, we're putting you in PS Plus Premium in 6 months.
No, it'll work great in there.
Make plenty of money.
Fuck.
I'll get only on Xbox Bobby Kotick for president. Only on Xbox is drunk right now. Shout out to him. Shout out to Jared.
Yeah.
Go ahead and get KY Bob.
We got KY Bob, member for 35 months. What is up, RDX? Sorry I'm late, but the wife was busy saving the wilderness. She has taken in a stray kitten. Dealer, do you want another?
The one I got is enough. Thank you, though. And tell her we all say hi.
Yeah.
I rescued
Say
my
hi to
cat
the
off a
cat.
burn pile.
Say hi to the cat, too.
Yeah.
Little pets. We got Nano again. Sony crying in through the back door. Xbox just kicking the front door wide open and telling everyone how it is and making sure they're heard.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, pretty much. I mean, when you spend $70 billion, you're not going through the back door. You're fucking shit up. You're blowing buildings up, man.
Something like that. But yeah, shout out to Nano. He's, again, moderator of the show as well here every week. Shout out to him and the rest of the chat, all the moderators and stuff. Did you guys know? I don't know. I guess I want to skim over this, right? Because we're kind of running here. But the next Bioshock, there's some rumors, some leaks, quote unquote, that are suggesting that the next game is set in Antarctica with a female lead. That's about as much as we've heard from Bioshock 4 or whatever you want to call it in quite some time. Loved Bioshock 1 and 2. Wasn't the biggest fan of 3. I know a lot of people are. But really, really want to return to that kind of Bioshock 1 and 2 feel, that dreariness, that kind of sunken, just ominous feel to it. That's Bioshock to me. I don't know if this is it. I have no idea. But if this is true, at least we have some information on it, right?
I mean, I'm down. I don't care. Any BioShock, like it's been too long. When did Infinite come out? Like, wasn't that like shit? When
That was on the 360 in 2013,
It
I think.
was 2013. I was just gonna say that. Yeah, I'm just down for any BioShock, man. That's it. Just give it to me. I'm down. I'm waiting. It's been way too long. Whoever's making it, I mean, who's the? Did they say who the developer is? Like the main developer team, like what team it was that built up the other shit?
It's certainly not Ken Levine. He's working on System Shock.
Yeah.
So I have no idea, but I know that they have a very capable team that made BioShock 2. Maybe those guys are still around. Not entirely sure. Chat, let us know who you think might be working on this. There's also some news on Ubisoft. Surprisingly so, they've decided to tell us about what the fuck they're working on. And that does include
September 10th.
That does include Assassin's Creed. So they've got some new information on Assassin's Creed, Ubisoft Forward event as well. There's a new Assassin's Creed based trailer with a ton of different kind of, I guess, eras and Assassin's Creed style characters. The trailer is kind of lengthy. They say, welcome to the greatest playground history, right? I get it. And they say, learn more about the future of, the Assassin's Creed brand on September 10th. I mean,
Yeah, they have apparently it's 4 games, 4 Assassin's Creed games. So they have several Assassin's Creed games, including I think 2 main titles in Infinity. There's the Red, which is set in Japan, and the Neo Hexi, which is set in the witch trials of the Holy Roman Empire. And then there's apparently a VR Assassin's Creed and a mobile Assassin's Creed.
Jeez.
So they have a shit ton. And if you remember, the team behind Infinite was the one that made Odyssey, and the one that made Phoenix Rising. So it's the A team that made Odyssey, but that's been working on this for however many years, and they're working in tandem. I forgot which studio. I know it's another big studio. They're working in tandem to make both of these because Infinity is like different types of mechanics. And so finally they want to talk about it on September 10th, and they're going to have a bunch of shit being shown off.
Yeah, I mean, I want to hear more from fucking D-Batch and Tim Dog here. You guys are also on the panel. What do you think? What's the point of this many Assassin's Creed games? Like, what are they really shooting for here, Tim?
To make money and to do it basically to do it with one of their only positive franchises. Their last Valhalla was, I think, their last successful game.
Well,
So-
yeah. But it made how much?
It made over $1 billion.
It was successful, but Assassin's Creed basically is their only, cash cow, and that's why.
No, Rainbow Six Siege.
Rainbow Six Siege right now, but I'm saying like Rainbow Six Siege.
He's talking about new stuff.
I mean, they've come out, but Ubisoft has had a lot of cash cows back in the day, but right now this is the one that they're going to the well with, and I think that's all it is. Most likely you're going to see another good game. I mean, there was a lot of rumors. I don't know, D, if you remember them, that they were going to make it a live service game. Is that all bullshit? Was that all bullshit?
I don't think so.
It looks like it's kind of going towards that, and I agree with you. That is their major cash cow. So, like, what does Ubisoft have at this point?
I don't know why they would go to a
Wait,
live
don't you think
service
Skull
game.
and Bones is gonna smash everything? Oh, I'm sorry.
Skull and
Yeah,
Bones.
so it's apparently like, so I'm reading it right now. I'm grabbing all this stuff. So it's Ubisoft Quebec, who made Odyssey. They're making their stuff, and it's set in Japan. Then the second major studio, which is Ubisoft's Montreal office, is set during the later stages of the Holy Roman Empire, revolving around the witch trials. And this, both Red and Neo are part of Assassin's Creed Infinity, a platform for future games in the series that will contain multiple settings, as Bloomberg reported. The 2 games will likely not release until 2024 at the earliest. A Ubisoft spokesperson declined to comment, though. And so on Saturday, we're going to be getting a bunch of stuff on there. And then there's also been widespread leaks of another Assassin's Creed game, codenamed Rift, which is set in Baghdad during the 800s and was once an expansion for the previous game, Valhalla, before it was converted into a full game because it became so big. And so that's Assassin's Creed Mirage. which will be coming
Jesus.
away with a role-playing game, which will be going away from role-playing game elements established in like the recent games of the series, and instead aim to return to a stealth focus of early titles in which players sneak around to perform assassinations.
So that one's for people that hate the Origins and Up combat system, and they want a more
like basically all
AC
the-
1
yeah.
and 2 feel.
AC 1, 2, and 3, yeah, like those kind of things. So yeah, so there you go. That's
You know
that's
what- you
that's
know-
a shit ton of games, man.
D-Batch,
You
do
know
you think
what's
that's
funny?
too many? Like, how do you feel about this many fucking games though? Like, in the same Assassin's Creed games all at once. Like, I don't. How do you feel about that? How does it make you feel, D-Batch?
I don't even know what to say, man, to be honest with you, man. Like I feel for them as a company right now because they don't really have anything going for them, and that's their cash cow. So I don't know what's gonna happen. And the funny thing is, I was at Fan Expo last week, Friday, and Ubisoft was actually there. And because I was so jaded from my last experience at that show when that supposed dev told me crap, I didn't bother to ask anybody anything. And there were some people there, and I was like, I'm not gonna bother asking these guys anything. And I wish that I did, because then I could answer this question fairly. I want to say one in the chat here. Nano Polymath said that you get free Valhalla DLC for just watching the Assassin's Creed show.
Yeah, you get more than that. That's what I wanted to mention next. There are several different. So they're handing out free game DLC for people that are actually watching that stuff. They are handing out Rainbow Six Siege, Valhalla, Roller Champions, fuck yeah, and others. So they're handing out some stuff if you guys do tune into the streams, which is cool. But again, chat, I want to know what you think
not gonna
about
act
this
like
many
it's
AC
dire.
titles.
I'm not gonna act like it's dire, man. Like honestly, Ubisoft has brought out some of my favorite games. Like Odyssey in 2018 was fucking fire. Phoenix Rising is one of my favorite games of last generation. I put like 80 hours in that thing. And even like the Wildlands and Division, like I enjoyed those games. So I know a lot of people hate the Ubisoft.
You might have liked
thing and this and
Wildlands, but
that.
did you like Breakpoint? You found a
Breakpoint's
pink
lot
scarf
better.
that gives you 5 dexterity.
Breakpoint was really bad in the beginning, but they completely revamped it. Like I recently played it like 4 months ago, and they were like, all right, well, you can do it in Xbox settings. It's insane. You could change so much where you make it like there's no.
They added a
bullet
realistic
sponging.
mode.
Yeah, and it's just way better. Like you're like, this should have been the game at launch right here, and that's all. I'll give them credit for fixing it, and I'm gonna give them credit for a lot of the games they brought out. I really enjoyed. I love I just like the Ubisoft thing. I don't know. Maybe I like the formula.
How much credit do you give them for Roller
games.
Champions, huh?
A lot, because it's rolling. But but even Valhalla, like I put I just beat it like a couple months ago, and I started it all over. And while that game I felt like didn't have that same magic as Odyssey did, or even Origins, I still enjoyed it for what it was. But I don't know. I want to see them do a little better with. I think Valhalla was very boring for people, even though it was really good, and then Breakpoint was really bad.
Yeah.
But like Phoenix Rising and the Quebec team, like I trust that Quebec team. I think they're gonna make something fucking awesome, because they brought out Odyssey, then Phoenix Rising, and they're just awesome. And then not to mention that Phoenix Rising sequel that's coming out that's set in like the Polynesian like culture.
Mhm.
I don't know. I like Ubisoft, man. Just do what you got to do, and make sure they're fucking good games and they're not bugged out. And I don't know. I'm looking forward to
We
it.
get that you like. We all like Ubisoft, bastard. I'm
No,
just
man,
saying
a lot
that.
of people don't, bro. Like, have you fucking
Yeah, I
like
keep
look? A lot
hearing
of
that.
people. I keep hearing a lot of people like, it's the fuck. This is shit, and it's like, god damn,
The
seriously.
Assassin's Creed, the Ubisoft
Yeah.
formula thing, right? We
The
keep hearing
Ubisoft
that.
formula thing, like
Yeah.
everybody's just like, I fucking hate this, and it's like, really, dude?
Yeah,
Like,
I'm
what the
pretty
fuck?
excited for this. Like the Mirage one there, where they're going back to the old mechanics. I love the old mechanics. I can't wait to play that. And they're going back to like an area that isn't freaking the West. That's awesome. And then Japan, that'd be awesome too. So yeah, I'm
Exactly.
excited to see what they're coming up with.
I want to see it. I'm looking forward to the show on it's
Yeah.
September 10th, so I'm actually looking forward to a Ubisoft show.
I'm just
I wanna
watching
see
it
what
so,
they're gonna
so I
do.
can get the Roller Champions DLC, and
You're
hopefully
such
we
a
find out what the
fuckface.
fuck they're actually doing. By the way, chat, there's a lot of people in the chat here, guys. I've got something called The Bench, right, for RDX. You're coming off the bench, you're coming on the show, you're having a good time, you're trying to add some energy to the show and stuff, guys. If you haven't, and you're interested in being, like, guesting on the show, and who knows, one day, maybe more, we could be all committified and whatnot, hit me up on Twitter, send me a message. If you're not on the bench on Discord, in my Discord, you'll have a role assigned to you. Some people already do, and they probably don't even know. Those are people that are on the bench. So if you want to be on the bench, let me know, and then we can just have people drop in and get some new perspectives, new energy, and that kind of stuff. Shout out to everyone in the chat, guys. Let us know your thoughts on Ubisoft and their 17 Assassin's Creed games that are in development. We had said it a year or two ago that the Assassin's Creed Online one was basically a mesh or a collage of a lot of the Assassin's Creed games, like the maps and the regions kind of stitched together to form one big, more online-based experience. And, everything we're hearing after that seems to be the case as well. So I'm not sure. I have to see some of this
they're
stuff.
going what people thought. I don't know, man. I get the feeling from what I've seen description-wise, I think they're going with like what people Madden should be, right? Like almost like one game comes out and then different like stories come out for Assassin's Creed. So it's like you're just going to continuously get stories that you pay for instead of bringing out an entire game every single time. Like that's from what I can tell, because every year we're getting Assassin's Creed, and then they take a break, and then Assassin's Creed. So I don't know. We'll see what they do. I'm just looking forward to what they have to show.
Well, again, I'm excited for it. I just want to hear more from Ubisoft. Hopefully they've got, does EBMO, is he still there? Beating people with, croissants?
Oh, the
yeah,
the guy that owns, yeah. Tencent just bought a massive amount of Ubisoft.
Jesus,
like huge amount,
right?
Like
how much?
10% or something like that.
Hargy, say it with your chest, Hargy. 10%.
Yep, 10% for 10 cents.
How much did they pay for that?
I have no idea. They didn't show the numbers yet. They just said that they bought I think it was yesterday or today. They bought like 10% of
million, right? Something like that.
Yeah, they're just like, we're in there. So now it's and they can't be bought out. I think in the terms of it, like Ubisoft can't be bought out for 5 years.
Yeah. Yeah, 297.2 million.
That's one Insomniac Games right there, just about. Game Bread, by the way, says Game Bread in the Discord. He says he's quoting. He says a lot of people don't like Ubisoft. He says you're damn right. A lot of their modern games are kind of copy and paste open world games. Straight trash. I mean, hey, that's one person's opinion. Let us know if you agree. Game Bread has a point in some ways. When I play Breakpoint and I put on a blue pair of gloves that gave me +5 defense, I was like, what the fuck's happening? This is Ghost Recon. Like Tom Clancy's doing a backflip out of his grave right now. It's just not, I get, don't apply this stuff all over the place and kind of universalize your features, I guess. You kind of want to come up with some unique things, But hey, Zachary, grab these chats here and then we can finally move forward.
We got Mr. Bushido and 70 says member for 29 months. Zalker was 100% right about Immortal Phoenix Rising. It's fire all hail Zalker. I'm getting a lot of praise today. I like it. We got Infinite. Thanks, man. I appreciate it, Bushido. We got Infinite Umbra. He says, "So, fellas, I was told I'd have to beat Dealer in Fight Night to join the bench."
Well, that's Umbra's. That's Umbra's first lie on the channel. Let's keep a tally mark system over here. Yeah, I mean, shout out to Umbra. We've been playing Fight Night, man. That game's still a blast. We need another Fight Night, EA, and we know you're working on it. Hurry the fuck up. Go ahead.
Yeah, don't launch it like Battlefield. Burp. We got Randy Johnson, member for 9 months. He says, "I'm happy I finally caught a live show before 2K23 comes out, because after Friday, 2K will be live for the next couple of months." Yeah,
I've been looking at some of the new things in the game. This seems like a more notable update, if I'm honest. Like the contact layups and everything in there that they've added animation-wise. It continues to be among the best looking.
Did you just say the fucking layups?
The contact animations they've added. They added a ton of different stuff. You have to learn about it and all that shit. But again, 2K23, it's out soon. Hopefully, it doesn't crash your fucking Xbox like the last two did. They finally fixed 2K22 a year or 6 months in, which was a problem that they didn't know how to remedy, according to somebody I spoke to at Xbox, until they finally went and worked directly with them and they figured it out. So hopefully this one's in better shape. By the way, chat, let us know. This is going to be a great topic because, as you know, we've always kept it 1,000% on our thoughts when it comes to first party Xbox. Talking about how we need games for years and all this stuff. When we get games like Halo, even though we asked for it to be delayed the first time we saw it, it got delayed. We were happy because we knew it needed more time, and then they brought it out. To a lot of people's surprise, it actually came out to a pretty damn good critical reception. It's a lot of fun to play. Personally, my review, I didn't think the game was finished, the story and stuff. I knew there was no roadmap, which I mentioned in the review. But there are seemingly more and more issues with Halo Infinite, and this broke a day or so ago. So 343 are under a lot of fire, still and always, forevermore, because they seem to fail to provide basic features, even though modders are putting some of these features in under a day. Now, I'm not saying that's playable or your save will work or it won't crash. I'm just saying that a modder is able to add things like the canceled split-screen co-op to their version of Halo. And I just, it's blowing me away. So there's been a lot of updates when it comes to Infinite. And Zalker, I'm sure you remember these all off the top of your fucking head. But when it comes to 343 and Halo Infinite, what are people really, really pissed over right now when it comes to the game? And Jedi Knight Peter and these guys played a lot. They could probably contribute in the chat as well.
The 30 tier or 30 level battle pass that's going to last like, I don't know how many, like 10 months or some shit. Having like what? How many maps? Is it like 2 or 3 maps, Hargeet? Like two maps coming?
It's 2 new maps.
Two new maps.
Well, November through March, we get 2 new maps whenever through that period. And then the next season, we get 2 more.
Yeah, then the next season is like.
Hang on. Here's how this is going to work. Every time you say something, I may or may not jump in and ask you a question. So my first question is, because again, I don't play Halo Infinite right now. I'm waiting for the co-op campaign stuff to go through it again. I've already run through it pretty much twice already. But so, Hargeet, you say they're getting 2 maps, right? Over the course of what, 10 months? How come motherfuckers are able to make these maps in a couple days on their own? Why is it taking them so long to add maps when they could just add classic maps that people have been asking for from previous Halo games?
No classic maps were in the roadmap whatsoever. Co-op.
So that's the question for Hargeet. I'm asking, like, what do you think's taking so damn long?
You're 100% right. This is the thing that baffles me too. Like, you don't even have to like go to even classic maps. You can just take the current ones and change things up. It doesn't take much to take one of the current ones, make it like night to day or something like that, and change things up in that map and throw it out. Like we don't even have that. How long could that possibly take? But yeah, this is the part that's disappointing. Like maps, like I think in the first year for most Halos, they usually have dozens of new maps, and like we've had 2 new maps up to now. 2 new maps. That's pathetic. Like I don't know what the heck they're doing, but whatever, right? If they're gonna put
Jedi
out
Knight
any
Peter
content,
says they're
they should have
forged
at least
maps.
had 6.
Peter says they're forged maps.
True.
They're not.
They are,
You know, people are making some really, really good looking stuff in this preview of Forge.
Yeah,
and
I wish they would.
I mean, in Forge beta isn't coming till November.
Yep.
And this is all like all the roadmap is from November 8th to June 27th. So from November 8th to 7, we're gonna get a 30 tier battle pass, and then March 7th we're getting the 100 tier battle pass. It's some new equipment, 1 new weapon, and 1 new map, 2 new maps, and then some arena and big team battle. Like it just does not look good.
Yeah.
Like it just doesn't look like like nobody wants to go back to it. They said that they were going to bring co-op by August. Bullshit.
Yep.
And
Fonz is back on the internet, by the way. Get the fuck in here, Fonz, and give us your opinion on this Halo stuff.
I think he's on his phone.
This bastard. Join on your phone. I don't give a fuck. I want to hear your thoughts on this. And again, we're not talking about bringing old code up to new code and integrating it with whatever Frankenstein engine this fucking slit space has turned out to be so far. We're saying that you've already got the blueprint for classic maps that people love. Have somebody build this shit real quick. We've seen modders do this shit in a day or 2. So I just don't understand.
343 is just struggling, man. They're just fucking struggling. I don't know what's going on. I don't know if it's leadership. I don't know what it is at this point. I feel like they just can't get out of their own way. I feel like the game launched very well, and everybody was excited because the campaign ran pretty decently, and you're like, this is pretty fun. And it reviewed well. And then just the support. They're just not built to fucking run a live service game at this point. Like, it's just like they don't know how to do it. Like, it's very easy to look at what the best live service games do. They constantly give you updates. Like Fortnite.
I mean, they've done this before,
Apex.
bro. Halo 5. I mean, shit.
Obviously not. It looks like they never have. Maybe those people that did it aren't there anymore.
The problem is they probably hired the people that did all this shit were contractors, and they let them go, and they said, fuck it. It's just like Bobo was saying, the desync issue. That makes the game unplayable for him. There's already 300 or 400 milliseconds of latency, which is fucking crazy. But then you've got all these other issues that stem from some of this stuff.
The desync issue, the battle wasn't like I remember. Yeah, it wasn't big team battle or whatever the hell it's called. Wasn't that broken for like 2 months?
It was broken.
And that's my favorite mode. I know a lot of people like Slayer and 4-on-4. I like the big battles. Like that's why I like Battlefield a lot. Even though Battlefield's trash too, but I like those big battles, and that was just broken. Couldn't get in at all. And I was like, fuck, man. And I get why people probably reviewed it well too. Like, not only was the campaign, it was all right, like it ran well, but it was also the promises they had. They're like, oh, this is coming, and then this is coming. People were like, wow, look at this. They've really thought of a roadmap. Little did they know they were talking out of their ass.
How thoughtful.
Well, it's coming. It's just when.
It's coming. It's coming, but like, exactly. But it's the when, but also it's what are you going to do? Like when next year, when all the, like you're competing with people's time. Like, right. Like that's what these legislators were saying. That's what Sony was saying, that Call of Duty is competing with everybody's time. Fortnite's competing with everybody's time. That's who you're competing against for Halo. You're competing against the biggest games in the world that bring content out. Fucking step up and do that.
Yeah. I mean, it's I really hope there's a documentary written about this sleeping Tim Dog. What do you think?
Listen, I think they should have, like Zorga said, not made so many promises. And they really look like a pathetic, a pathetic group right now. They can't answer any questions. They made tons of promises, ray tracing in game campaign.
Yep.
You can't even get an answer on. And fans don't forget. So they put themselves in this position. The best way they probably should have went about this, looking back and, is to have released the campaign and then delayed the multiplayer for a year. If they had done that, it would have been a much better position. They would have taken a lot of heat, but it would be nothing. It's nothing compared to the heat that they're taking now. Because now you have stuff like they're making promises and then they're not answering it. Bonnie made promises about split screen, and then she's nowhere to be found to answer any of these questions. And I do feel that they should be more accessible. I do feel that they're egotistical and that they think that they're above it all, and that's a problem.
You think they're egotistical and above it all, huh?
Yeah, because I don't think that they really, that like they'll just let the fans, like you look at all these super fans, Uber Nick, some of the guys we've had on the show, like guys that make content and love the series. They're just like, even though they make content, they're just at losses right now because they cannot get answers. I mean, when your top community people can't get answers and there's no relationship there, there's a problem there. I always said, I always gave them the benefit of the doubt, but now I do believe there's a cultural problem there, and I do believe that they have major issues, and they shouldn't be sugarcoated. Like you shouldn't say, give them a benefit of the doubt anymore. No way. I'm
not even giving Joe Staten the benefit of the doubt anymore.
Yeah,
everybody's like, "Oh, Joe Staten fixed it." It's like, cool. He's been there for how long now? And this is fucking like all this stuff is coming out now. Is like, what's going on? That's under Joe. Sorry,
2 years, right? 2 years.
Like 2 years. Like that's a long time to make some changes.
To fix a mess, right? And so I guess that is the big question. Like, so this is recognized, obviously, right? And so they switched out Chris for Joe. And now the question is, where does it go? Is 2 years enough? Or do they need a lot to freaking unbury? You see a lot of job changes happening, right? Yeah. They are definitely, heads are rolling. They're restructuring. So maybe it was just a mess, and that's what the rumors are, that it was a mess even up into 2020. And so Joe came in and said, what the fuck are you guys doing? And they said, all right, we're cleaning this shit up. Here's the stuff we're delivering.
Get the fucking Swiffer. What's happening in here?
Yeah, literally.
Well, yeah, and he just cut shit out.
That's
all he did.
Hargey's right, though. Out. It's not that 2 years isn't enough. Let's not kid ourselves. It's that everything over there is on fire, internally or some other way, and there's no one there to actually wrangle everyone together. We know it's not the head of 343. We know, there's no one there to actually wrangle the stuff together and get everyone back on task and to organize shit and to figure it out. And the worst part is they're on their own fucking bespoke custom engine. They seemingly don't know how to fuck to use it. They contract out important parts of the fucking gameplay and then let those people go. When that gameplay breaks, like some of the Melee desync stuff has done, then they no longer have that guy at the studio. They got to fucking track down Tommy in Switzerland and figure out, hey, how the fuck did you do this? There's so many stupid things that have happened with the game, and this is why I've avoided trying to play this game more, because every time I play Halo Infinite, I'm like, this feels amazing. I'm like playing this a lot. But then all these issues are here, and I'm just like, I'm not even going to waste my time.
The problem with that, I'm sorry, the problem The problem
wish
with
it would
that
just be
is
fixed.
the problem with that is like I don't give a fuck if you had a contractor, then you're not ready for production. The whole point of going in production during development is that anybody could step in and pick up where Timmy left off if he leaves. That is what production is when you go into development. So if they didn't have the proper documentation, the proper production, the proper anything internally, then you need to revamp how you do that. This is literally called like product development. Like that's how you do it. So it's like I don't want to hear that fucking excuse because there's plenty of like not just game studios, development and tech that do this regularly, where they contract shit out, contractor does some stuff, and then when they leave, nothing falls apart because you have it well documented. That is the
Not
whole
like
point.
Microsoft wouldn't know how to do software development.
It's like fucking A, dude. It's like, what are you doing? It's just like our job. Like me and Argue. Like if I leave, it's not like shit's gonna fall apart. Like, oh, it's over. It's like no. It's like because we documented it. And that's the whole point. It's like, what are you talking? Like, I don't care if they say, oh, well, we had contractors and now they're gone. Cool. Who stepped up for them? Oh, nobody. So you're an idiot. So you didn't prepare for this. Like, it's so dumb, man. Like, I just don't like that shit.
Yeah, I mean, again, there's a lot of people chiming in, and there's a ton of different opinions, and we're not saying that we can go there and magically fix it, but we do know, and the reason we're more vocal about this, and I've always been vocal about issues there, is because I see people damage controlling the game, and it's like they don't understand, even journalists that are still defending 343, it's like they don't understand that this kind of criticism is warranted, and these are people that didn't really play the game a lot. Maybe they do, but even if you did, you should be all that more vocal because it does make a better product. And ignoring the issues is not going to get you a job at Xbox or impress anybody. It's really, you got to speak out about this stuff. It's just the only way to do it. You just got to. There's too many issues.
Somebody said, I don't know who the fuck it was, on thing that hiring would be really hard at 343 because of the fans and how passionate and toxic some of them can be. Developers don't give a flying fuck how toxic you can be. Like, it's about the money, and it's about, like, moving up in the world. It's about getting a job. Like, they're not going to go to a studio and be like, well,
like,
hang on,
the fans of your game call people bitches.
It's like, I'm kind of scared of Water Egg 83 on Twitter. I don't know if I want the job. They don't care about that shit.
Is that, like, if the studio is doing so poorly, will the studio be closed, right? I mean, they're at the precipice of that, right? And then would they just
They're not going to get closed.
Right, so
they're not going to get closed.
Yeah, and hopefully that's the case, but something needs to, get, and look, maybe they are in the midst of it and Joe just needs a few more years to fix it. Whatever, right? But where they are sucks.
I want Other Zinc's opinion in the chat too, by the way, because he's in the chat. He popped up. Shout out to you, Other Zinc. I remember Other Zinc saying, "Hey, Halo's perfect." I legitimately want to know if Other Zinc still feels that way.
So
I really do.
I was
defending it.
I was one of their biggest defenders, so for me to be saying what I'm saying is a complete 180. But to people who say they should be fired and new leadership, if that happens, you're talking about years to
get back, right?
Yeah, it's gonna take. So they're in a rock and a hard. We're in a rock and a hard place position because we just have to wait, and I think that they know that, and that's why that they're just taking their time. Now there is a possibility that a Forge comes out and these updates come out and we're all loving it, and then it's all okay. But the communication and some of the stuff, the way they handled it, I just turned me off in a way,
I don't think the problem's the regular developer either. I don't, because they're doing what they're told to do. I think it's definitely someone at the top that just is fucking all over the place. Hargy, what were you going to say?
Yeah, I think Forge is cool, but honestly, like, they need to... why 2 maps? Like, seriously, come on. Yeah. At this point, I'm expecting at least a dozen new maps. Even if they're old ones, like you were saying, Dealer. Just bring the old ones. I don't care. Bring something.
What about some new modes?
Yeah.
What about something different? Like, goddamn, man.
Just check every box. The damn game needs about everything at this point. Yeah.
Right? Listen, I mean, the launch without co-op alone freaking sucked. And now here we are, and now we lose split screen.
It's going to be a year later or co-op, because they didn't say November. They said November to March co-op.
Yes.
So it's going to be a full year later before we even see it or sniff it.
And remember, a modder has already gotten split screen co-op, something they canceled, up and running in under a day.
See, that's the part that pisses me off, is that we still don't have the co-op campaign. And like, I'm being honest, at this point, like, what's the point? We've already played through this game and we're getting tired of the multiplayer with the same modes and, the lack of innovation. Like, by the time they come up with co-op, no one's going to care. Now, people saying, oh, you gotta fire 343. Listen, I'm not happy with like the launch was okay-ish for the campaign. Like I did enjoy the campaign, being completely honest. The multiplayer, I played it a bit here and there, and it just kind of trailed off. But realistically, you can't fire 343. If you do that, I think that's the end of Halo, to be quite honest with you. I think they need to hire some help. I think they need to get some other people in there to assist them, because they're clearly lacking. Like, come on, like this game is about to get put out the pasture, and we still don't have a lot of features. Like, where the hell is the ray tracing that was promised? So clearly they're not up to the task to handle everything.
Hey, Fonz is that?
I'm on the phone, man. This fucking sucks, but
It's
yeah,
all
I
right.
think Zocker hit it on the head, man. Zocker hit it on the head. They're just not freaking competent enough for a service game like this. I mean, you said it earlier. What about Halo 5 and stuff? Well, Halo 5 didn't have this idea in mind that they were going to be a 10-year game, you know. I think
I don't
they
know
just
about
had
that.
a lot on their plate. Well, the thing is, they had a lot on
Halo
their plate.
5 launched with more content, launched with less issues.
Yes, you're 100% right with that.
And they
But what
added
I'm
a bunch of
saying is-
content over the years.
What I'm saying is, I think they were thinking far too ahead of the plan, rather than just getting shit done that could have been immediately finished right away or whatever. I think they were just planning too far ahead, making it too ambitious. I mean, they had lots of ideas, like Dee said, oh, we're going to give you ray tracing in a next-gen patch. You can't even get co-op out. Let's not even talk about a next-gen patch. I mean, it's just ridiculous. Like, look, I said it before when they said, oh, it'll be out in 3 months. I said, what happens if it's not out in 3 months? And everybody's like, oh, they'll get it out. Nope. 3 months later, nope again. And guess what? What is this? Going on an 8-year development cycle for a game? This is ridiculous. Like,
That's Starfield too, by the way. 8 years.
well,
That one
well,
will
you know
actually
what?
be done when it's done, though.
But
I
when
hope.
that
I hope.
comes out,
Hoping.
it should be stellar. And just like their other games, they put a lot of years into. Yeah, they have some bugs and stuff, but they're freaking phenomenal games. 4 Game of the Years there with Todd Howard, so it's a lot different. We're talking about 343 here, who's never got a Game of the Year now. So yeah, I feel like you guys have said it all. Really, Zocker hit it on the head. I just don't think they're built for this service-based game system. I just, man, I don't know what they're going to do at this point, but they need to do something quick, because everybody, and I mean everybody, from the hardcore Halo fanatics out there, and I'm not talking about you guys in the chat that say, "Oh, I love Xbox and Halo." No, I'm talking about hardcore Halo fans. If you go look on YouTube at these guys that have done nothing but play Halo for the longest time, they are pissed off. They are mad.
Yeah.
And that is where you're gonna falter. If you piss off that core group, you're done.
Yeah.
You're done.
Hey, only on Xbox says Vanguard has more options than Infinite. I have an issue, though, with even saying that it has a games as a service plan, and that's why it fell apart. I don't think so, because they didn't have a roadmap until more recently, even internally it seemed, and they have all these issues that are both technical and from, everything from the desync to the damn plan itself, canceling shit last second. This is every sign of it's not too ambitious, because if you think about it, it's not really all that ambitious. If you look at what they're doing, it has less of the things that all the other Halos had that aren't there still. This is just incompetence. That's all it is. Incompetence. I don't know, man.
Yep.
Let us know, chat, what you think. There's a lot of guys in the chat
I
talking.
like to call 343 inept. Sorry.
Hmm.
They just are inept.
And I'm sure there are developers there that feel the same way. Again, it's not all of these different developers' faults, but there's definitely someone there that is
I'm
causing
sure they
issues.
have talent, man. I've said this before. I'm sure there's talent there at 343. Look what we got with the campaign. It is fun. The problem is it's got to be upper management there. I'm sorry. I don't know if anybody said it, but in my opinion, Bonnie Ross needs to take a hike. She needs to go somewhere else.
I don't think that's going to make a difference, right? And that's why you're seeing all these people being
but you know
let
what?
go.
But
Because
the problem
multiplayer
is-
maps are not being made by Bonnie Ross.
Okay,
they're being made by the
Hardy.
multiplayer team, right?
That while that's true, you
And they're not
always
making
point
it.
to the person at the top, no matter what
Which is
team you're
Joe
with,
at this point.
no matter what job, whatever it is. No, Bonnie is at the very top there. He's the
Bonnie
one
runs the
she's
whole
one
thing, right? So from
Exactly.
webisodes to
Exactly.
TV shows to movies and
And is she
whatever
out?
else,
Is she
right?
not out of touch? Have you heard?
I don't want to spend too much
point.
time. I don't want to spend too much time on this specifically. We do know
I'm just saying,
that somebody there, some people there, something's up. We know it's not just doing this shit to itself. We know that somebody there is causing these hiccups. There's air in the brake lines, and we're trying to figure out what the fuck's happening. Chat, let us know what you think's happening. Obviously, Fonz, I'm glad you jumped here on the phone. It's good to get your opinion either way, and you should have did that an hour ago. But seriously, chat, let us know. And shout out to 1,100 people that did show up and checked us out tonight. We had one little hiccup, and this was great. This was fun. I didn't have to worry about it too much. Took a little bit to get warmed up.
It fucking felt great not dying. It was awesome.
Yeah. Chat, again, let us know your thoughts. We're not against Halo. We're actually for Halo. That's why we're saying
I'm
this
against
stuff.
it.
Fuck Halo.
Resistance.
I am against Master
whatever that
Chief.
resistance is.
I am against Master Chief keeping his helmet off and fucking everything that moves while Cortana watches in the corner. I'm not a big fan of that kind of stuff, but when it comes to the games, the thing that fans actually give a fuck about, which the show
you
could
wrote
learn
that
from,
scene.
Cortana.
Yeah. Let's not forget Matt Booty as well. He's the one that oversees all these teams and stuff. And I don't know if he's just stretched too thin. Maybe there's just too many to look after. But the man needs some help.
Yeah, get him like a Palm Pilot or something. But we do gotta say good night, guys. It's been about our time. We just want to. Well, we went over actually. We just want to say thanks for supporting the show and making it what it is. We're glad we could kind of get some of these technical issues reined in this week. We'll try to have 0 next week. We had 1, but let us know your thoughts. Hit the like button, tell a buddy or two about the show, and of course share it out. And hit me up on the comments. Let us know your thoughts. But we're gonna do some outro response. Thanks for jumping back in, man. It's always great to have your perspective. Tell people where you went, and
even if it's a really negative one with 343 talk. But I'm sorry, I'm just so bitter about 343. They put me on an up and down roller coaster this past year, and it's just like, man, I thought they were doing well, and then it's just like, boom.
We got some super chat.
He's like, my power went out. 343.
Hey,
Going on his phone.
Exactly.
Phone a fraud.
Oh, and I've bit my tongue for a long time, and it's just like a lot of people are just scared to say it or whatever. But in any job, I don't care what you work for. If you are part of a team and you are overseeing that team, whatever problem arises, it falls on you. It falls on the top dog. I'm sorry. And I bit my tongue far too long, and other people have too, and I think people just need to say it. There is a management issue there, and it needs to be dealt with.
I don't think you have bit your tongue, though. You've said that before. We've said that before on the show.
Yeah, but I'm calling out specific people. Okay, you got
which I've mentioned before. You've mentioned it before, but yeah, I just don't want to harp on it too long. I don't want to attack anybody specifically.
No, it's not about harping. It's just about being real, man.
Yeah,
there's problems, and they need to be addressed.
But, standing up on the shoebox and saying,
"You can find me at Fonz Gaming." All right, find me at Fonz Gaming. All right,
find him at Fonz Gaming.
This sucks. Fonz Gaming. Yeah, and I'm out.
What have you been playing? This motherfucker.
I've been playing shit. Oh, you want me to get real dirty?
Oh,
I've
shit.
been playing that piece of shit game, Saints Row. I quit on it because it is. If anybody is more inept than 343, it's Volition. Volition. I'm sorry, your game is trash. It sucks. I mean, there's no way to go around this. The game is a buggy mess. When you have missions that don't allow you to complete, that is just pure trash. When your game keeps crashing and crashing, and you're just it's done. People, don't buy this game. If you haven't bought it, don't buy it. If you bought it, I'm sorry. If you had a good time with it, great, that's fine. But I just think the game stinks. It's terrible. Yeah. So I was playing that, quit on that, and I went over to Immortals Phoenix Rising. So I'm playing that, and it's okay. It's okay right now. I just started. So I'm not far into it, but it's okay.
Yeah.
So let's see how it goes.
I like phone fonts. This motherfucker's angry.
He is.
But yeah,
I picture him walking up and down his hall, yelling on the phone.
Yeah, he's out in the fucking alleyway yelling into the streets. But
somebody said, download the patch for Saints Row fonts. No, how about F that patch, F that game.
When did the patch hit?
It doesn't matter what they do to it now. It should have been fixed on day one. I'm sorry. It's too little, too late.
Well, you did download the 16 gig patch, whether you know it or not. It was like a day 1 or 2 patch. But was there another one? Because I haven't seen another one.
Yeah, I haven't seen anything.
I've I'll come to that with my outro. But yeah, Fonz, we were in the party. Me and Bobo were in the party with him when he started just trying to transform into some shit. I don't know. He's yelling about Saints Row, and he uninstalled it right then and there. And it was a blast to listen to.
It's always fun to be in a party when I'm having a meltdown about a game. Yeah. It's always fun.
Follow Fonz at Fonz Gaming. He made it a little easier to find for you guys that have struggle with spelling and whatnot. Always great to hear Fonz's thoughts. D-Batch,
Thank you, brother.
where have you been playing and where can people find you, bud?
Been playing absolutely nothing. I've just been in the outdoors, man, enjoying summer. Now summer's come to an end, so I'm probably going to start gaming again this week. I think I'm going to fire up Spider-Man. I haven't touched the PC version, so I'm looking forward to
fucking
trying
great.
that.
Wait, are you saying
Yeah.
during the summer you don't game because it's summer?
Yeah, no, this
I'm
summer
about doing
in
an internal
particular-
investigation chat on that one.
Nah, this summer in particular, just because of the pandemic for the last few years, we haven't been able to enjoy our summers here. And I said this summer, screw it, I'm going outdoors. I'm going to do as much as I can because we've been trapped inside for
You
like the
touch
last few
grass?
years. So yeah, so I just kind of put it aside. And like I said, I got new toys this year. I got a new electric bike. I got new scooters, and I've just been riding around. I'll probably actually do a video on my channel, show you guys the scooters and the stuff that I've been doing this summer. And yeah, it's gonna be business back to normal in September. So I'll be putting out gaming videos once again. You can find me at YouTube at dbatch, and of course on Twitter D_batch. Was a great show. And yeah, a little sad the summer's over, but yeah, it is what it is.
Thanks for reminding me again in the last 10 minutes. He's reminded me twice. I'm sorry, Risk It. Zalker, grab these super chats real quick because we got to get these guys through their thoughts up here on the chat.
Yep, we got Risk It. He says the Fire 343 industry needs to stop. I'm not defending them, but if that happens, you're not waiting minimum a year to get to where we are now. Fire B Ross. All right. Don't fire 343, but fire one person. We got Nano Polymath. He says, shout out to the RDX fam holding church, bringing the facts and keeping it real. 1440p, 60 FPS is a pleasure to my eyes, and hearing y'all is music to my ears. Much love and respect. Look at that. I feel like he's coming on to me.
All right.
We got KY Bob. He says, FYI, and for comparison, the Coalition added 24 maps for Gears of War 3, 4, and 5 within their first year after release.
Holy fuck.
Fucking Coalition savage. We got Danny Passion Official. More Halo bad news. I'm out. See you next week.
Yep.
Later,
See,
bud.
not everybody can handle the Halo talk now, but Danny, he listened to the rest of the show. We appreciate you, Danny.
He did. He's all right. We got Nano Polymath again. 343 branded to 171.5 as they're only half as good as they should be.
Oh, fuck. Well, half as
Why
good as a
gotta be that
competent
way?
studio, yes.
Yeah. Then we got Hargeet, who is dropping the Ezio collection, Assassin's Creed style. Look at that.
Man,
Old
Hargeet,
school Assassin's Creed. I beat that whole Ezio collection, by the way. Shit was great.
well, we have fun with the next 7 that are coming out.
I
And then
mean,
we got
I
one
wanna
more.
beat, I gotta play Rogue. Oh, I don't have more. Oh no,
Spinal.
Spinal. Play the Spinal. That's all. It just says he's a new member.
Hey, shout out to Spinal for becoming a new member.
Thanks, Mike Tyson.
The memberships and the patrons and stuff like you guys are awesome. You really, really do a lot to help support the channel, support the show, all that good stuff. We've also got some other outros, by the way. We got Hargeet Chan. He's been a nice gentleman. He jumped on the show once more, and we love having Hargeet on his perspective. What have you been playing, Hargeet, and where can people find you, bud?
Yeah, so Origami 2, I hope we'll finish that soon. Looking forward to, I guess we have a Disney Marvel show coming up on Friday, and then Ubisoft Forward coming up on Saturday. And then we'll have Go Live to go over it. So check us out in Game On Daily.
GameOnDaily.com.
Yeah.
Great website. Gaz is amazing. He's an awesome guy. And he's been playing a lot of Midnight Fight Express, it sounds like he's fighting with someone's vibrator in the background. His controller's going crazy, but he might have beat that by
game's
now.
fucking awesome. That game's awesome.
Yeah, I hear good things. I'm going to have to try it and jump back into it again, but I was in the middle of Saints Row. Speaking of Tim Dog, brother, what have you been playing and where can people find you, man?
Been playing a lot of XCloud. Ultimate, what is it? The stupid Power Wash game. I actually love that game. And Ultimate, what is it? Midnight Fight Express. I really recommend. It's really cool. It's on Game Pass. Also been playing Madden on the console, and it's pretty good. I talked about this last week. I do think that it's a little bit overpriced. It is an update, and the updates come. They steadily give it a lot of support throughout the year. But I played it, and I have to say it still gets me going. So I'm a fan of it. You can find me on Twitter at CloudTimDog. I'm glad we had a clean show today. Everyone in the
yeah.
chat, thank you for being patient with us, and we'll be next week if we hopefully, knock on wood, have cleared the problem.
Hopefully, knock on woods. And then we've also got Zalker, brother. What have you been playing and where can we find you?
You guys can find me at Zalker87 on YouTube, Zalker87 on Twitter. I'm happy that I'm recovering from the vid, so I'm feeling good. But during that time, I was playing a fuck ton of games. I beat Spider-Man on PC. I beat Grim Dawn on PC. I beat Midnight Fight Express on Xbox. I am 15 hours into Days Gone on the PC. I've been playing a shit ton of multiverses. Yeah, there's a lot of games out there, and I'm just kind of going through the backlog and just having a good time with it. And I also bought Little Nightmares 1 and 2 on sale on Xbox. I've never played those, so I'm going to be jumping into those. I heard they're really good. I think, Dealer, you recommended them to me big time. So just a lot of games, man. And dude, somebody's like, go outside, get some sun. Bitch, it's 115 degrees here. I went outside and almost passed the fuck out. I was like, just fucking went back into the AC room.
This motherfucker.
No, but I just been like, honestly, I couldn't really do a lot. I was laying down, so I was just playing a shit ton of games and just having fun. Yeah, and I honestly, Game Pass is a fucking lifesaver. So much stuff, and I actually even played Vampire Survivors. People need to check that game out. It looks like a game made in 1994, but holy shit. It is one of the most addicting and fun games I have played in a long time. It's $3 too. It's just stupid. It's stupid fun. And whoever made that is genius. So yeah, that's what I've been playing, man. And I'm glad to be back. Glad to talk about all this stuff. There's a lot of news dropping, and hopefully some games are going to start coming out in the next few weeks. And here we go. And football season starts, baby. Let's get it.
Zalker's on the bench waiting. Costanza,
put me in, coach.
Shout out to Costanza in the chat. Shout out to all the mods once more. Suge, shout out to you. We got Ham Solo. We've also got another super chat as well from Spinal. Shout out to you. He says, do you think with all the new studios that it will be possible with the acquisition that it may need more Matt Booty? Can Matt Booty handle this stuff by himself? That's a serious question. I'm not 100% sure on it. I mean,
well, I don't
know.
I
feel like there's also been a damn pandemic. I feel like also maybe he hasn't done the greatest job making sure that certain things are happening at a certain studio, but I just don't know. There's so many variables in between him and the heads over at 343.
Listen, I'm gonna put some blame on Booty, but I'm also gonna put some blame on the studios themselves. I mean, like I've always said to people like that I've hired at my job, I hire adults to do adult work. You better fucking act like a goddamn adult. Yeah. Like get your shit done and do what you need to do, and that includes the studio's leadership.
Now,
like,
I did say though,
be honest with
Undead Labs. So, Undead Labs said that they basically had too much freedom, and they expected Microsoft to take more control, and that was part of their problem, which I was blown away to hear. I would put that on people, being not putting certain people in position or keeping them on task. So I did talk about Matt Booty in that scenario. So, I mean, I guess it would have to come down on everybody that's responsible for the progress at studios. But again, I just don't know enough to give a real deep opinion on it.
Matt Booty's not going to be there on the day-to-day. He can't be
exactly.
at 17 studios, whatever the hell it is that they own. He can't be there for the Xbox Game Studios. What he does is he sees what they have, provides the budget that they request, and says if it's worth it, right? And then he goes and checks on it with Phil. That's all it is. You need to trust the people you put in the leadership. And at this point, a lot of the studios they bought, I think, were not ready to jump up to the quality that Microsoft was giving them. Like, it's a massive jump going from like AA to AAA. Like, it takes years of development to do that. So I'm not going to put it squarely just on like one person. It's just not fair to that person. So Matt Booty does deserve some of the blame, but at the same time, he's doing his job by providing these people the money that they need, because we've seen the hires, we've seen the growth, we've seen them do a bunch of stuff. So he is doing his job technically. It's up to the developer to keep up to that promise now.
What the hell?
So, there you go.
John, he says, you don't what they doing good. I don't know exactly what you're saying there, but we try to cover the good and the bad, and right now there's just not been enough software hit Xbox.
Can I just say something to Other Zinc? Other Zinc is saying that Zalker doesn't know what big management works. You don't even know what a good game looks like, Other Zinc.
Leave Other Zinc alone.
Chill the fuck out, Other Zinc, before I get Randall Thor out here.
leave Other Zinc alone. You know you got a club foot and all this shit. You just gotta just leave alone. Shout out to Other Zinc, man. He's been in the chat, man. I mess around. You know, he's a good listener, and he's a great businessman. And seriously though, to be serious, thanks for listening to Other Zinc. We're just fucking with you, and everyone else. You guys are awesome. That is the outros. You can find me at dealer_gaming on Twitter, II_dealer_II on Xbox Live, where I'll be playing 2K23, Gotham Knights, and others over the coming months. Modern Warfare 2 is looking, hopefully that's going to be phenomenal.
Blake's Tale, right?
Well, I'm just excited that I can delete 2 other Call of Duties once Modern Warfare 2 comes out, because that's like 300 gigs. But yeah, I've been playing a lot of different stuff, man. Hit me up on Xbox. I try to jump into parties and play with people, and I, at the very least, will reply to you. So if you want an ad on Xbox Live, just message me and finish that message off with, hey, feel free to add me back. I'll add you back. Once more, thanks for supporting the show. Thanks for checking out the topics and giving us your thoughts. Hit the like button. Tell a buddy or two about the show once more. I got to say it 50 times. And we will see you guys sooner than later. Check out my last video if you didn't. I'm out.
Later, everybody.
In fact, we're out.